Because you've got powerful legs. How did you get the physique? Was it gym or how did you get the physique?
I've always been...
She's actually not got powerful legs. Do you shower in your dressing room? Do you have a shower on the day of a fight or not? Tell us about the tattoos.
Shut the fuck up, you little prick.
But then I've got the Phoenix.
Hey, prick.
So I'll take it from Bob every day of the week.
Absolute disgrace.
I'm sure no one will mind.
Move him out of here, Darren.
Ricky Hatton didn't go over for his fighter because he risked getting abducted and sold into sexual
I never said that.
Both have been rape victims. I'm not watching Frank Buglioni live on Saturday night. You're out of your mind.
Jesus Christ, get yourself a life.
He's actually a priest.
Yeah.
It's because his brother John Fury eye gouged him.
What have I told you all this time? He's going to end up sucked out, fucked out, looking for a handout.
Boxing nutters messenger group. I'm gonna be the king.
J-Pump, you know what I'm saying?
Welcome, everyone, to the 569th edition of the Boxing Asylum Nuthouse, proud member of the Sports Social Network. We are on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all the good stuff. Please give us an exceptional review if you believe that we deserve it. And if you don't believe that we deserve an exceptional review, why are you here? So, the 569th edition of the Boxing Asylum Nuthouse. Steve, did you know that in the pornography industry, when you hit your 500th 69, they give you a gold watch?
Oh, right. So where did they put the gold watch? That's the question.
Yeah, that's a great question. I didn't dig any further. Do you know what the fastest speed you can have sex at is, Steve?
No, go on.
68, because at 69, you're eating it.
For fuck's sake.
Anyhow.
I'm not associated with him.
I'm preparing us for the weirdness that has been
Calm down,
Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney. And I tell you, about midweek, there must have been another tweet or something that came out from Ryan Garcia, and I started thinking to myself,
there must have been.
Is there any way that this guy is really this crazy? Or is this just an act? And he's crazy like a fox. A regulator was asked, about all the mental health tests that he had taken, and he said he's faking it. Apparently, Ryan Garcia was in on some great joke that very few of us knew about as the market shifted. Everyone's thinking Haney by KO, and Ryan Garcia puts Haney on his ass in 3 different rounds, coming away with the majority decision victory, ending what was one of the strangest buildups and one of the oddest fights that I've seen in a very long time, Steve. But Ryan Garcia pulled the wool over all of our eyes, and that left hook remains a very potent weapon.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect introduction, Matty, to be honest with you. I wasn't sure what to do with the thumbnail this weekend, I'm not sure most weekends, to be honest, but I thought I'd play on the old David Bowie track, and I put the man who trolled the world was the thumbnail, and I thought, he just trolled everybody, didn't he? I think it was maybe calculated at first. In hindsight, now, obviously, beforehand, we didn't know. We're not amateur psychologists. I'll come to that shortly. But he knew what he was doing. I think he just went with it. The more people bit, the further out he went. Whether he'll be able to pull this off again, I'm not quite so sure. What he's going to do next, who knows? But I think in the fight itself, coming out fast was the best Ryan Garcia strategy. Haney referenced it afterwards, a bit like Chukwu. He fell asleep. They knew what Garcia was going to do. They knew he would come out fast, but he just couldn't manage to counteract it. And the early knockdown, And coming out and hurting him so early, I think just planted those seeds of doubt in Haney's mind. All of a sudden, maybe the visions of him wobbling against Linares came back. That's what came to my mind as I saw him after that first round. He couldn't get out the way of the left hook. It was so fast. It was ferocious. It was powerful. Was Garcia going to implode? Was he going to do something crazy? Was his stamina going to go to pot later on in the fight? Those were all things I was thinking about, but they didn't. And Haney, as I said, the seeds of doubt were completely planted there. And Garcia, he embodied that Ricardo Mayorga energy, that craziness before the fight, during the fight, afterwards. It was like his madness almost drove him through the 12 rounds. It completely spooked Haney. People referenced Collins and Eubank beforehand, and I think he just spooked him. And Haney thought, I don't know what to do with this guy. And he missed weight, obviously. That's the main thing that's working against him. I would love to give him a huge pat on the back, and I can, because he proved everybody wrong, boxing fans, sporting fans, us on the panel. The missing weight thing is a bit of a bit of an asterisk on the win, I think. But apart from that, the speed was there, the power was there, the size artificially was there, all worked in his favour. And one thing I mentioned just finally, Matty, before the boys come in the Nutters chat, I think it also exemplifies just how good Tank Davis is. And I am a big Tank fan, as everybody knows, but I think the way he kind of dealt with Garcia, different build-up, he didn't miss weight and all that, but the way Tank used his boxing IQ and his size and his power to his advantages to say, look, Ryan, if you come on in, there's going to be a price to pay. You better get in fast and do your business. Otherwise, you're going to catch something on the way out. He hurt him early, he dropped Garcia early. He planted the seeds of doubt into his head, and that shows the quality of Davis. Haney hadn't got the power or whatever it was that was lacking to be able to do that. And the referee, the boys will talk about it, the holding, the referee thought it was ridiculous. The scores, Garcia was a clear winner for me. There was just so much going on, but it's that buzz, it's that unexpected emotion that we all watch boxing for, and all those things came through last night in spades.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. I went into it expecting something truly bizarre to happen. We were expecting maybe a quit job or something like that, but it was nothing. And like basically everybody that was anybody and nobody's as well were saying, "Oh, this is crazy. Garcia has no chance. His mind's out of the game." And but he is a tremendous athletic talent. And you have to give him credit in that. But Andy, it was still just bizarre. The holding, the turning his back with a kind of attempt at a shoulder roll. And I don't know. It was one of, if you look at the punch stats, it doesn't measure up necessarily as a good fight. But it was a circus act of entertainment at the end of the day. And it just... And Garcia, I think Garcia basically made Haney play his game, which was to turn it into a sideshow.
Yeah, well, I suppose it's again, mate, it's the old adage about boxing, it's the psychology part of it, that as well. Full as all, I mean, I think we were all pretty unanimous last week. I think I went with Haney with the stoppage. I think Rob went with Haney with the stoppage. I think everybody went with Haney for the win anyway, and pretty much everybody out there, you've got Sherry McCoy betting $250,000 to win $2.5 on Devin Haney. My God. He actually tweeted that shit out and forced to delete it. I mean, that's a bad day. I don't even... Floyd would I suppose Floyd would lose. He made losses like that. But the fight itself for me was in 3 parts, actually. The first round, then from the 2nd to the 7th, and then the end. Harvey Dock, you're right, mate. I mean, Steve didn't mention it there. I thought he might have went for full balls in on him, actually, because he was nowhere to be seen until that 7th round when Haney got properly buzzed up. And then that's where the kind of holding shenanigans kind of started getting involved. He didn't give a warning for the punch on the break, I think it was. But
yep, I thought at that point deduction might loom large when those scores were getting read too.
Well, it was looking that way a wee bit.
It was ridiculous, Andy, wasn't it, considering he was sort of reacting to the holding. It came completely out the blue. I thought he's hurt, he's holding, and all of a sudden the point's being deducted from Garcia. I'm a fan of Harvey Dock generally, but I thought that was just terrible refereeing.
I mean, that's okay. Sometimes maybe Garcia was at it as well, but there was no way he was at it as badly as what Haney was. It was like the Haney old in that as well. I would agree. See that first left hook in the first round, it really... I'm going to say he never recovered from it properly because he did come into the fight. He started to steady himself. He started getting the jab working. But whenever Garcia did cut loose and started landing those power shots, he didn't know really what to do. The covering up that he was, I mean, the shoulder roll he was trying was just pathetic. I mean, he was practically turning his back. I mean, I think the referee even told him to kind of stop it because he was turning his back practically anyway. And then it basically gave Haney a free shot at his ribs. But in the end,
shoulder roll as much as a dinner roll.
In the end, the power is what basically kind of. Well, power and I would probably say the weight as well. I know they didn't do a second day weigh-in, so I don't know what in terms of what weight would be. I'm assuming around about the 160 mark. The power was just different. Clearly just different. Especially the third knockdown. You also as well. You've got another. Let's just talk about the other non-knockdowns that weren't called. Actually, what do you think? How many of those were actually should have been called?
Maybe one of them that was a rough one.
Yeah, it was all over the place. So
yeah, and the thing, we've seen referees act incompetently in fights and things like that. I just think Harvey Duck kind of had an off night in what
possibly.
was you have to admit that was a very complicated fight to manage. It was, and it just kind of got away from him. And it's one of the only times I think I can remember a fight getting away from him.
One thing I did want to kind of bring up as well, just on the terms of the weight. Now, Garcia, obviously, he had his stipulations to make weight for the Tank fight. What was it, 136, I think it was. Now, I'm not going to say that Haney needs to move up to 140 purely based off how he looked here last night, like inability to hold that shot. Sorry?
It was at
147, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Because obviously he's inability to take the shot. I personally think Haney remained too long at 135, right? And it's possibly like now he's moved up to 140 and it's now become an issue trying to make that weight possibly. I don't know. Garcia, I can see the point. You can see he's slightly bigger. He's got slightly leaner than that as well, slightly taller. So I think I can see the reason why he needs to move up. We expected some sort of shenanigans and something to kind of play up, and so it proved. The drinking on the stage, and I'm not going to say as well as he didn't train properly for the fight. I mean, look, he's went 12 rounds in a professional boxing match, for Christ's sake, so he's clearly trained in some sort of capacity for it. It's just the mentality. It's just the mental stuff outside the ring. It was just crazy, and obviously it kind of begs the question sometimes, and you're asked. But anyway, look, the joke's on us, everybody. He's pulled the wool over everybody's eyes, and he's pulled it out. And fair play to him. I had a good laugh to myself this morning when I checked on the result on my phone, actually. So fair play to him, actually. Okay, he skipped away. That's bad. That's unprofessional. On the other hand, has Haney been protected by his team? Did they no insist on a rehydration clause? I didn't follow that detail. I don't know if that was added or anything like that. So maybe his team need to take a wee bit look at themselves by not protecting their fighter if they didn't have a rehydration clause.
I don't think they could have, Andy, because of the New York rules.
I don't know what the New York rules are.
They don't allow same day weigh-in stuff or whatever because of what happened with Joey Gamache.
No, and what I'm saying, Donnie, would be is you would cap what Garcia could actually weigh on fight night. It's not a same day weigh-in because obviously you're actually asking the fighter to make weight 24 hours before the fight, and if the fighter fails, you're gonna have to cap that ass by saying, "Look, listen, you can't come in over say 156 for argument's sake." But there was no second day weigh-in there yesterday, and I don't know if that's because if it's a rule by New York. If that's what you mean.
Yeah, I think it is.
Second day weigh-in.
There's no way Haney could have put that in because he's likely to weigh in upwards of 20 pounds over the next day too. It would have fucked him.
Well, I really, again, I don't know because obviously we didn't get the weight. Another thing I wanted to get clarified as well because there seems something conflicting. Somebody was telling me on WhatsApp the title remained with Haney, but Eddie said after the fight the title went vacant. So, what was the story with the belt? Is that went as well?
I don't know. I was curious about that too because Haney said, "I'm still the champion, so we can run it back." But then usually when a fighter misses weight and for a title fight, they can't win the title, but the Titleist can lose the belt in the contest. So this would be a new one. Maybe they renegotiated that whole thing after Garcia missed weight.
So Suleiman's got himself involved.
Yeah, Suleiman and Andy has said that because the other guy didn't make the weight, therefore Haney wasn't defending his title against an opponent who was eligible. Therefore, he can keep his title. Also on the undercard, which we'll get to later, there was a WBA. They weren't going to have any more regular belts or interim or whatever, but they also broke protocol last night. So it's good to see that both the sanctioning bodies are still doing what they said they were going to do.
Well, let's see if they keep the same energy, if that happens with any other WBC fighters and that as well, or any WBC title fights. If one fighter misses weight and said champion loses the fight, he gets to keep his belt,
And all of this was sent via email. Anyhow,
it was funny. Like it was funny. I mean, I suppose some people would be. I've been waiting for Loma to actually come out and lay some shit on him actually, because Haney threw some his way after the win. So, but Garcia's been good. He's been good copy, especially after the fight as well.
I want to acknowledge the super chats as they're rolling in here, so I don't forget about anyone here. Ryan Deal, of course, Ryan Deal, always being so generous, sending us another 5 New Zealand bucks there. Said, did you see that Malik Scott versus Adam Kodnowski at the Devonish got announced on the Pro Box post-fight pod last night? I hope that's
bastard, man.
I hope that's a joke and there's not some weird truth behind that. And
there's weird truth behind everything in boxing these days, Matty. Save the children.
Yeah. I guess it's Malik's turn to ejaculate on all the old women in the crowd. Those pictures will haunt me. Who the fuck posted those in the group? Who should I hate? Was it Damo? Is that who I should hate for that, Steve?
I think it was Dominic.
Whoever it is, I fucking hate you for that. Anyhow, we also had Jamie throwing 199 in, says, can't remember. Was B-Hop always a weird guy? Yeah, I think when he got when he got into his 40s, he was still a good fighter, but I think
he always spoke in riddles.
Yeah, a little bit, but then I think things started getting weird with the alien phase. Remember, and it just kind of has been kind of getting weirder since then. And now he's in his old wise black man phase where he wants to sit down and give you rules for life and shit like that. Actually, you guys might have never known anybody like that. I've been blessed to know the wise old black man and hear their lessons on life. But I don't know if anyone's listening to B-Hop anymore, least of all Ryan Garcia, maybe. But B-Hop, definitely a strange cat. And
Tim Bradley be listening to Ryan Garcia.
He went in on Bradley, didn't he?
Oh, this is so fucking weird. Let's see here. And then David Palmer throwing 499 in says, Ryan said he needs to move to 147 now. Can't get himself under 143. Maybe. I don't know, man. With who fucking knows with him anymore after this? Who fucking knows? It's like I don't know. He pulled the wool over all of our eyes. And as it was going on, I couldn't help but laugh at it. What are you going to do at this point in time? It was crazy. And it was I think what gets me about it is it's not like he when he got in the ring, the way that he went about things was brilliant. He painted a masterclass. It was fucking ugly. His attempted shoulder roll stuff was stupid and gross. His movement around the ring didn't really do much of anything. Both guys were fairly inactive, but he just found a home for that left hook at certain times, and he turned the tide in what was just an awful fight at the end of the day, but was only made entertaining via the antics and then the knockdowns. So without it, nothing.
The thing is that this is by far the best win of his career. But I'm not sure that he's learning anything. He still, does some bizarre stuff in the ring. They asked him last night, why did you seem to switch off for a while and go into a shell and retreat to the ropes? And he's like, I don't know, I just have ADD. I changed what I was doing, or whatever he said. Telling the truth, I think that at one point maybe even he was bored in there, even though it was the fight was basically to save his career and his reputation. It's I think that he's like the kid that's like so talented that he doesn't need to study to ace the SATs or whatever. You know, or you know, he's got a great gift, which is that speed and also the power that he has in that left hook, and that can get him through fights, even when he didn't probably put in the work the way he should have in the gym, even when you know. You know, maybe certain things, if he's not fighting the way he should be fighting, that will bail him out of so much trouble that it could even win him fights against, you know, pound for pound level fighters. Obviously,
that left hook is almost as good as Wilder's right hand in terms of just being a fucking bailout weapon.
Yeah, it's an equalizer like none other. Yeah, that's that only comparison that you can make probably is that. And for one of the shots that put him down too, I noticed that he actually started it almost as a jab, and he kind of pivoted his feet and turned it into a left hook.
Real short and sweet. It was a nice shot. I know the one you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, you know, that stuff is stuff that you can't teach. I mean, he's very gifted. Takes him, and I like the guy too, but you know, and I think it's good for boxing given that he's so visible on social media. I mean, there's people who know Ryan Garcia even if they don't really follow boxing, and that can kind of, you know, bring in fans. So it's probably a good thing that he won. Overall.
Ryan Garcia is for the children.
but yeah, I mean, you know, like against competition above, I think where Haney is like Tank, obviously it didn't work. And I think that unless he, you know, changes some things around, I think he can clearly make 140. By the way, I mean I'm not saying.
Oh, I think so too. I don't think he gives a fuck about titles. I think he's all about making that paper.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, I mean he looked a little doughy last night. I mean, you know, obviously I know he's an athlete. He still looks good by like, you know, compared to us. but I mean,
I agree. Actually, I saw that too.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like looking beforehand, and I'm like, you know, this guy looks like fucking Maradona in like the late years, you know, the end of his career. Fucking did too much blow. Just
Maradona kebab.
I just want you guys to try this on for size as far as fucking Garcia and his loony antics and shit. If he still can make 140 pounds and somehow this promoter and that promoter and the stars aligned and it happened, can you imagine what the pre-fight buildup would be with him and Teofimo Lopez? Fuck.
Oh God, yeah, that would be great.
You need a therapist in between them, you know, when they do that sit down at the table.
It's to say battle with the bipolars.
Gonna need a bigger room for all these personalities.
It was also very weird, and like the tweets were odd. Do you remember the one where Ryan Garcia said something along the lines of, like Devin Haney pushed me, and I identify as and I'm transgender and identify as a girl, so that means you assaulted a woman or something like that. Like, what the fuck is this guy on?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Was that last week, Belly of the Week, or maybe I had it for this week? Can't remember.
I don't know anymore, Steve. It's so, there's just so much been going on, and he said so much, it just kind of all blurs together, and it's just like Andy Kaufman would be proud. He really would. What a fucking routine that was. So I guess, you know, that there's the opportunity for a rematch. Obviously, I think. I think as tepid as ticket sales were for this, Steve, I think demand for a rematch is a lot more. Do you think that they'll go that route? And how do you think the rematch might go?
It's hard to know, man. There's so many different moving parts, isn't there? There's the weight issue. Definitely, like you said, for me, the tickets might not have sold this time, but they're sure as hell sell next time if it happened again. Garcia, I wonder whether he could keep up that same energy, because I mentioned earlier the sort of craziness, the frenziedness, the Mayorga. Can he pull that trick off twice? Is he able to recreate that for as much as himself? Not even the element of surprise on Haney, who will know what's coming. Will he be able to deal with it is a different matter. But can Garcia keep that up for another sort of 12 rounds? It feels like everything was aligned and he was pushing himself through for these 12 just burning on fumes. Can he do that again? Is he going to go this whole routine? And will people say, "Oh, I'm fed up with this shit now"? You just don't know. But I mean, it makes complete sense for both of them, especially for Garcia, money wise. He would think he's got the beating of Haney. Haney would turn around and say, "Well, no, I think I can make changes, adjustments naturally," but I'm not so sure he can, to be honest. You can't fix that chin overnight. And he took a beating, really. I'm not saying it's a career-defining beating, but that's took a few miles off the clock for Haney, I would say. Broken jaw, dropped multiple times. Look at the picture on Andy's screen there. Blood on the mouth, confused afterwards. That was a hard fight for Haney, man. He took a lot of shots. So I don't think he'd be in too much of a rush. Sorry.
And the fact that left hook, he had no trouble finding a home for it.
Exactly. Right, which is what I said earlier from the first round. He thought, shit, this left hook, man, I can't get the way out of it. It's so fast, it's so unpredictable, as Donny said, turning jabs into left hooks at the last minute. It was prime Garcia. If Garcia can bring that same energy and come back in shape, you'd have to make him a strong favourite, which is quite the turnaround. A couple of quick things, just so I don't forget, Matty. One of the guys in the chat mentioned Haney's boots. I noticed them as well. Looks like the type of boots that your wife wears at night, in it with a dressing gown. What the hell was he doing in them? That kind of footwear. I don't know what the hell's going on there. Ugg boots for Haney. What else have we got? Also, Hatton. I was going to say friend of the pod, but I'm not sure after this. He was absolutely raging with us afterwards. He went on a complete tirade. So here we are. He jumped into the chat at 5:59 straight after the fight, and he went, "Pod members from last week, hand your heads in shame." Brackets again. Once again, every one of you pretends they're a psychiatrist rather than a boxing fan. You would have thought lessons learned from Tio is definitely going to quit versus Taylor. And then 6 minutes later, he's still going. So will the pod blame Haney's daddy issues or actually admit they got it totally wrong and consume humble pie faster than Big John at an all-you-can-eat buffet? I think it's time to go to bed, Matty, to be honest, and what you say.
I love Adam. It's good to see he's paying so much attention to his new bride.
We're just here having a chat, Andy, man. Right?
I know. You know what's even pleasing, by the way? You know what's even pleasing? He actually took time out his early morning, stayed up all night, 6 a.m. and sent that message. But I was in my pit, scratching my paws, man. I didn't even care in the fucking world.
I ate crow right off the bat. I think we all did. This is just like one of those moments, like.
Oh, but Ham never gets a prediction wrong, mate. You know what I'm saying? He's always right.
He's near the top of every prediction lately.
Oh, aye.
Yeah.
Is he? Fuck, he's right down the relegation zone. Useless.
But
like and subscribe, Hatton.
Let's get him to saying as his fucking position in at 6 a.m. in the morning. Let's keep that same energy then, like Ryan Garcia brought last night. Bring that energy, you cunt.
Oh man. Well, if he's putting that energy in on his honeymoon, his new wife is going to be walking like
humble
Mrs. Thompson.
pie for getting a fucking prediction wrong. Fucking hell.
Anyhow, I'm very curious to see where this will go, but I'll tell you, Andy, something that's really interesting. You go back, a few years to all these young guns that were, in the 135, 140 area and all these undefeated records. Who's O's going to go? The only undefeated records left standing are Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis. They're the last ones standing. I think that's something else, honestly.
Yeah, the other thing as well, I suppose, mate, is we're gradually getting some of the fights made. Had Loma Haney, obviously. Just need to see Tank now with some of the dudes. Now, obviously, we had Tank Garcia, but based off last night, obviously, and that as well as Tank's obviously overwhelming favourite against Haney, obviously at this point. I don't know if I really don't think Garcia does anything different at all with Tank in a rematch. To be fair, and interesting as well is if Garcia cannot make the weight at 140, it's going to be interesting. Just as Donny was saying there about him looking soft at the weight there slightly, how he's going to look at 147, and obviously as well as in terms of the power against the bigger guys, the legit 147 fighters. If that power's is going to carry up as well, so
Gonna struggle, isn't he, Andy? I mentioned Linares earlier. The fast guys, the explosive guys, are going to trouble Haney, aren't they? The guys are they can punch and they get to the target really, really quickly, which is what Davis can do. And I remember Subriel Matias, they were mentioning, Haney may be dancing around with his jab, grabbing him and all. That fight all of a sudden looks completely different as well. Now Matias has been built into an absolute beast, but how hard he hits and how he sucks up shots. Now all of a sudden we're looking at Haney in an entirely different sort of lens, which is maybe unfair considering he has gone after the biggest tests, Andy, and he has done his best. But I mean, after that display last night, that's worrying signs, man.
Yeah, again, you just think it's maybe just down at the guy, just taking that that wonderful power shot, and he just unable to recover, or just recover enough, and then he gets chinned again, and then he's struggling to recover then. But against Matias, I suppose Matias is like he's a different fighter. He's not that fast twitch, puncher as such as what Garcia is.
Yeah.
He kind of
more
builds,
clubbing, isn't it? Yeah.
No,
he builds steam into fights. So,
but Garcia, like when he took those moments to walk Haney down a bit, he kind of started having his way too. I think Matias eats Haney up after last night, and I could be wrong. I mean, there's all sorts of this, that way, and the other with these fights, and the triangle theories never work. But I'm far more interested in seeing Garcia against Matias after last night. That's just where
Leave him alone, will you? You want him to get killed? He's only after getting to the top of the sport, for fuck's sake.
Yep. Joining us on the call, Everlast. Oh, excuse me. I meant rapping Rob Kelly. Rob, give us your thoughts on the fight, please.
Thanks, Joe Pesci.
Joe Bitchy?
Joe Petty. Can you hear me or no?
Yep.
Yeah, no, I thought it was an exciting fight. I got it completely wrong, obviously. I don't think this personality.
Much to ask you, ate your humble pie this morning, mate, for your prediction last week.
Apparently,
you're an amateur psychiatrist as well. Apparently, you should eat humble pie, just a bit like Teo Lopez against Lomachenko.
And he said you smell like potatoes.
What else did he say, man?
Who was it? Who was it? Said that? Hatem. All right, man. Well, look, I was only calling.
Called you an absolute dickhead as well, apparently, mate. This is what I'm hearing. This is what I'm hearing.
What do you say? Hang your heads the same. Once again, you just pretend they're psychiatrists or boxing fans. Oh, man, shut the fuck up. Everybody with a brain was calling fucking just off talent was calling Haney to beat Garcia. I didn't buy into the fucking shit. I said I didn't believe a word of his fucking publicity stunt. I just thought he was doing it to further his brand. And I'm going to start it off by saying, seeing as we're going amateur psychiatrist hour, I don't think it was that much of a fucking. I don't think anybody believed it from the start. And that he was fucking. It was all a bit weird and the Twitter stuff. And then he came in fat. He looked fat on the scales. He came in fat. He didn't fucking train. Like he said, if he says he drank and smoked every night, I believe that shit. I don't think he's taking the sport seriously one bit. And coming in 3.5 pounds over the weight is going to give you a small bit of an advantage on fight nights when you're relying on a big shot. Having said that, I always said from day one, asshole, that the best fucking thing for the sport would be if fucking Ryan Garcia was able to go out. You can go back and listen to the various pods where I said this. If Ryan Garcia was able to go out and flatten Devin Haney, be the best thing for the sport because he'd be the biggest thing in it. And regardless of how that happened, now the fucking world is Ryan Garcia's oyster and he can do what the fuck he wants. He's printing money now, like that fucking scene in Scarface where the money machines are ticking in. That's what he's doing. Like in his head, his stock is after going through the moon. His social fucking media status is after going through the moon. His star has gone through the roof. So keep this man away from Subriel Matias, please, for about fucking 2 or 3 pay-per-views, and we see what's next. Exciting fight. I don't
what's
think he's
next for Bohemian Grove, Rob?
Well, this is it. Let's get Garcia in there now and get some freelancers.
He's probably got enough money to become a member now.
Yeah,
there you go.
He could be a double agent, man. You know what I mean? He could be an industry plant. No, I still think he has his limitations. I think even last night, I think you draw from that last night that he's not a natural finisher. He's like
That's true. That's true. He had plenty of chances and totally
should have been over.
Off the hook.
Fight should have been over. Shouldn't have gone to the cards. He lacks a little bit of composure. He's like fella getting his first piece of ass, even though it's not his first rodeo. But he gets all excited when it comes to the fucking. Do you know what I mean? Trying to get the bra off there. He's fucking swinging for the fences.
Just like it's too late, man.
Yeah, you're young, but you're young, and you might shoot your load too fast. But guess what? You can drum up another load pretty fucking quickly. Lucky
exactly.
for him.
Exactly. So he had a few loads last night
I
that
need
he was
some
throwing at fucking that he was throwing at Devin Haney.
Speaking of Ricky Gravel throwing 5 pounds in there, saying Oscar and Ryan still not been sleep. So there you go. Continue, Rob.
Oh man, can you imagine the slags they were in last night?
First rule of Nuthouse, Rob was always right. Second rule, Rob was always right. Exactly, decades. But no, I still don't think he's the finished article. I still think he has the same vulnerabilities that he's shown all the way through his career. Just Haney didn't have enough pop. Haney rocked him last night at one stage with a left hook, and it's because he has his chin in the air. Like I say, he's not a natural finisher. He doesn't set much shots up. But I thought his technique was improved last night. I thought there was some subtle stuff that he was doing, like he was kept extending the jab into Devin Haney's face without throwing it, like just keeping him like a measuring stick on the end of it. He was using the right hand more, and he was putting punches together. But I think if he was a killer, I think if Tank had got fucking Devin Haney in that trouble in the 6th round, the 7th round, he wouldn't have come out of it. The referee had a mare as well, by the way. That was an outrageous fucking performance in the 7th round from the referee. Garcia was working on getting him out of there, and then was given a 13-second break or something by the fucking ref, inexplicably fucking docking him a point without even a warning. Like that was a stinker of a decision. He was doing his best for Haney in that moment, but Haney could come again and Jade can't. This is the world we're living in. Haney has options here. I think his dad was saying, and he was saying in the interview, he's still the champion. I think there's a couple of conflicting stories about that, but I don't think he lost the belt or does it become vacant. I'm not sure, but he's
still got it.
So he still got the belt, so he has some more currency.
The same organization that allowed one of the Charlo brothers to sit around with a title for 30 months is saying, go ahead and keep it. Doesn't fucking matter anymore.
But I was surprised that Haney, maybe I think he probably shipped the shot in the first round and then the game plan went out the window. All the boxer-sized Ben dossiers flew out of his head when he got a clanked on the fucking jaw with a left hook. So maybe it's easy for me to say this. Like, he probably didn't recover. Like, you could tell he was fucking ready to go anytime he got hit. So maybe it took him a couple of rounds to shake it off. But I just didn't think he was as good on the jab as he normally is. And I think he was leaning a bit and I was playing into Garcia's hands. But fucking exciting fight, man. And like the best winner for the fucking overall landscape of boxing, I'd say, is fucking Ryan Garcia. You know what I mean? We needed somebody to come along. And like, I don't like his stick or his patter or whatever, but he has moments where he's pretty fucking funny as well. Like, so you got to give him that. And he's exciting when he fights. His fights are exciting. Apart from that Duarte one, which was dog shit. And I don't know what he's doing, turning his arse into the odds as well. He's fucking turning his arse into fucking. So he's got lots to fucking work on. But like I said last week on a pod, he's only a few optical wins away from being the biggest fucking thing in the sport. He's just got one of them out of the way. Give him another one where give him Raleigh or someone, or Barbosa, or fucking some of these guys where he can go in and take their fucking head off like a fucking baseball, and let's just see where it goes. Like, but Tank again, wouldn't be mad at it even if it was up at 40. I think he could make 40 if he wanted to. I think he looked fucking fat at the weight at the weigh-in, but regardless from all that, exciting night, big night for him, and it takes that. It breathes a little bit of life into that 140, 135. Where's Tio? What's Tio saying? Is he gone up to welterweight or?
I can Steve. I get man. He hasn't got time for this shit.
But he's still 140 though, isn't he?
Yep.
So there's a fucking another potential amazing fight there.
I mean,
there's another fight between Haney and Lopez. Yeah, and Haney's 25. Yeah.
And so is Garcia.
Yeah. So.
David Palmer's throwing $4.99 in, says, I want T.O. versus Ryan with the gloves are off and the build-up hosted by the Gad.
You'll have the Gad doing Honduran accents and all. Teofimo Lopez.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing. That I agree with Rob. I can't believe there was one time when Haney was hurt, like real bad, and he literally like just bear hugged, Garcia, and Doc is in there trying to like literally like tear him off of him, right? And like this happened like at least 2 or 3 times, and then afterwards he warned them both for holding.
Yeah,
it's like what the fuck? I mean, what I want to be like, if I'm a Garcia, I'm gonna be like, dude, you realize that I'm trying to knock this fucking guy out, right? Like why would I be holding? That doesn't make any sense.
You're right, man.
I mean, and also too, I mean, there should be more points taken away from that or whatever. Like, a lot of times we let holding go when a guy is trying to hold on for dear life. because he's about to get knocked out. I mean, you have to fight your way out of it in some other way. And all right, you could hold, but I mean, expect to lose a point if you're doing something like that, because you're depriving fans of the finality of the outcome that they paid to see.
Yeah, there's some truth to that. Haney could have definitely had a point taken away there. Not one of Mr. Doc's best performances, but I just think it was a bad night. But anyhow, we'll use that because having met Harvey Doc, it's interesting when you have met somebody and they give a performance that you question. Yeah, these things do happen, don't they? But anyways, directly
maybe
below,
we'll ask him in a couple of weeks.
directly below this fight on the undercard, Arnold Barbosa Jr. getting a hotly disputed split decision victory over Sean Mccom, with Mccom taking a card of 98-92, but that was overwhelmed by cards of 96-94 and 97-93 for Barbosa. In a fight that I thought I had Mccom 96-94. I thought maybe one of the judges went Mccom and the DAZN crew were going just a little hard for Mccom, but I still thought he won the fight. The fans booing Barbosa like crazy afterwards. Andy, they were not pleased. Your thoughts of the decision, sir?
Wild. Should maybe start with someone else on this panel. Actually, put the judging. But we'll get to that.
That's too fucking easy. I don't want
to. Yeah, I know. They point shooting the bolt so far, mate. We'll get to the hanging in a wee bit. Yeah, look, I thought Mccom won the fight. I think obviously maybe the lack of pop and the fact is he was doing a lot of it off the back foot. It just maybe wasn't pleasing to some judges. I don't know, but for what I've seen of it, he was okay. He was taking shots, but it was a close competitive fight. But for me, he did it off the back foot. He was moving well. He was sticking the jab. He was doing the wee half turns. He was keeping Barbosa off balance. He couldn't get his shots off Barbosa. You could see him get marked up. And honestly, going into the last round, Mccom had no marks on his face until literally the last 20, 30 seconds there in the 10th round when he got cut. So I thought he won the fight. I didn't score it actually, but I thought just with what he was doing, was more than enough to win the fight for me. This is blatantly, to me at least anyway, have robbed him. To have the scorecards again, one blatantly wide on one side and blatantly wide on the other. Like, what the fuck am I watching
I will
here?
say this. I think this is an important point to make here. Rob, you tell me. You seem like you've been around. You've seen some things. Yeah, tell me what this might say to you. So going into the 9th round, the live betting odds, you were getting 11-2 for Barbosa to win. Going into the 9th, how do you think people had that more score in that fight?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I've heard there's all these theories over the years, isn't it, that there's one spooky decision built into each card so that they can throw the odds on the lines at the bookmakers. I'd be very cynical about that kind of stuff existing in the world of boxing.
No, I don't believe that for a second, Rob, because there's been plenty of cards I've seen where there have been 2 or 3 shitty decisions. Yeah. So I just think
I think it's what you like. it's what you like. And just to put a context on those scores, I think on the Boxing News app, predictor app, 97% had Mccom winning on the live scores of the participants who scored it live. So
very interesting.
What do they know? They're lives. So, they've never been a fucking professional judge. Who are they to comment?
So in defense of the other side, I'd like to bring in Mr. Donnie T. Baseball. Donnie, what are your thoughts on this fight?
I mean, honestly, when I was watching it, I knew right away. I was like, this is going to be controversial no matter which way it goes. First of all, I when I was listening to the commentator, the guy was practically having an orgasm over everything Sean Mccom did. And I understand. I mean, he boxed well, and he utilized his, movement and moved around the ring beautifully. But, I mean, at the end of the day, he mostly, landed in patty cake type shots, while he was backing up, and so it didn't do any.
This cake is patty spelled Paddy.
Good one.
He's going for the Irish tonight, isn't he? What's the matter with him? What's the Departed or something over the weekend?
Donny, you driving, mate?
Yeah, why?
I was just wondering if you wait at that pickup point to get that envelope that's been laid and wait for you, you know.
So, somebody felt safe turning on their car this morning.
Donny doing a Robert Hansen here, isn't he? Anybody wants to know who Robert Hansen is, Google Robert Hansen, the FBI.
Alan Hansen's young fella.
But I don't know, Donnie.
But anyways, just to finish my point, I mean, I was like, look, this is one of those fights that, you know, the scores could vary widely because it's going to depend upon what you like. If you like, you know, the punches that show effect, then you're going to like Barbosa's work. And if you like, you know, the volume of punches and, you know, just the good defense, boxing, you know, making the other guy do what you want to do with the ring generalship, then I knew that you would go for Mccom. And, you know, different judges favor different styles. And it doesn't surprise me that you got the sort of wide variation that you got. And also the punch stats ended up almost even anyways. So, I mean, I know we score by rounds.
I take CompuBox with a grain of salt.
Always, but I mean, you know, what I'm saying is that I know we normally score by rounds, but you know, you're watching what you see, and you know, I saw a fight that, you know, again, it's like your mileage may vary based on how you judge. So,
Steve, what give me your thoughts on this fight? How you might have had it scored? I'm gonna pull up the. I'm kind of curious because Donnie said the punch stats were even, so I'm gonna pull up. I think I saw that listed, but why don't you give me your thoughts, Senor?
Yeah, of course. Putting aside the Mccom laptop incident that I mentioned last week, he is a good boxer. I've seen him up close.
Somebody got theirs.
Yeah, exactly. Team Barbosa.
Maybe that's a fucking coincidence. We should be looking there so we know what Steve did with that fucking $200.
I thought Mccom won, to be honest with you. I know that the American judges do favour aggression. It was probably a little bit closer than the 98-92 scorecard. He isn't a big puncher. A lot of people thought he would have trouble to the body. I think the worrying concern is how difficult Barbosa found the contest and how he struggled to really close Mccom down. If he's going to be a top guy, I rate Barbosa. It could just be an off night. He's like 30-0 now. And if he's struggling to deal with guys like Mccom handier than that, then I think that's the main concern out the fight. I agree with Donnie that a lot of Mccom's shots aren't power punches. They're kind of amateur. He was a good amateur, Mccom. So that kind of backhand, throw a couple of shots and get out to dodge thing. And if Barbosa was landing more frequent power shots, I would agree with Donnie's assertion. But I think that there was a lot of rounds where Mccom was landing sort of pity-patty shots and getting out to dodge. And Barbosa wasn't really landing anything in return, let alone harder shots. So I think Mccom was just scoring when Barbosa wasn't scoring at all. And I thought Mccom won the fight. But like I say, the wider implications, Lee Eaton apparently has lodged a complaint to the WBO. Not sure how that will come out of it, but Mccom definitely came away as the winner morally, and Barbosa would be a little bit concerned after.
Like Philip Clement.
Exactly. Very. Yeah.
Looking at the punch stats, they
very
were
flat-footed.
They were close. Mccom just had a small edge based on CompuBox, but on the number thrown, which I think is less of a grain of salt, that's easier to catch. Mccom out threw Barbosa in 8 of the 10 rounds. And in a lot of those rounds, the numbers were relatively close. But for me, what I thought that I saw is I thought that even though there were shots that, were being landed by Barbosa, I thought that Mccom was doing a better job of negating their effect, rolling, getting just slightly off
he
the
ducked
line
off the ropes and got out and he wasn't closed off again, which Matty, you know, I'd be concerned at Barbosa. It could have been rusty, could have been an off night. I know he's been out the ring a long time. He's come back in quick succession now since he signed with Golden Boy. But yeah, that would be more the concern for me. If he can't do that against Mccom, and who seemed to be bossing a lot of the rounds and getting out and ducking and dodging away from the shots, then Barbosa's going to have to sort his shit out. And I think he's sacked off Rick Merigian as well, who's taking him to court. So things are getting a bit messy in and out of the ring for him.
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you, this is interesting, and I wish that I had uploaded. I think Nathan put it in the group. He always puts in some good stuff. And in Quebec, I believe it was, their gambling association is no longer taking bets where the WBA is the sanctioning body. based on a fight with Yoenis Tellez.
Yes, I did see that.
Where he, his trainer, apparently I think it was over 6 figures, wasn't it, Steve?
$110,000, I think, top of my head.
He bet on it to go over 5.5 rounds. Yes. And Tellez got the knockout in the 10th. And he's a tremendously talented fighter. One of those guys, you kind of wonder if he just can't get people out when he wants to, more or less. But there was all sorts of money that moved after that too. So now until the WBA can prove X, Y, and Z, they're not even taking bets from them in this particular province. Very.
Can you imagine if that Canadian guy like hit him with like a light shot and he went down? They'd be picking him up like Rodney Dangerfield riding the horse, and he's like pulling up on him, trying to make him lose.
Well, the WBA, Matty, have a long storied history, don't they? Do you remember the Gabriel Mestre, Michael Fox fight from a few years ago as well?
Was a terrible decision.
Fussiness there. Yeah, well, they're dodgy as hell, aren't they, man? We all know that. But I did see that story you were mentioning. I mean, the boxing, who would have thought it, eh?
Hey, yeah, since they're all in the up and up there, I almost feel like presenting to them the whole story of Steve Spark and what's his name, Valenzuela. I think that, and that was WBC. I think that opens up a whole ball of wax. I'll tell you what, if there is any one thing that could straighten out the sanctioning bodies, it would be the people who take bets who can no longer do it, who straighten that out, because like, especially Vegas being the home of so many boxing events,
that's a good
point. This might be the route to go. Like,
once it affects the money, yeah.
It's your sport is so fucking crooked. We can't take bets on it. It's time to clean this shit up.
See, just saying that, I don't know if it's true, but someone said last night that Garcia, I was away briefly, so I don't know if what you're talking about is about the money, but Garcia apparently bid $2 million on his sale last night and won 12.
Yeah. Yeah, he'd gone out to 6-1 or something.
Dude, oh my god,
that's allowed. That's always been allowed.
Well, yeah, it wasn't that the argument that Pete Rose had, is that he always bet on his own team.
Yeah, but that's different. That's but he was managing, and that meant he could start this guy rather than this guy, even if he was maybe like sore and needed rest because Rose needed a win. But like in boxing, it's an individual sport. Like, I mean, the problem is like if Floyd Mayweather was betting on himself to win it, in round 8, yeah, that would be a problem.
He bet on himself to beat fucking Conor McGregor in the 10th.
That's right.
He did. He told all of his friends too.
Shit. Wow. Oh, I thought it was okay to bet on yourself to win, but not like. Yeah, that's
Donnie's annoyed that he didn't hear this information.
Let's not get into Donnie's betting habits, by the way.
Oh, man. So I think we have gone far enough into that fight, which wasn't the most aesthetically pleasing. I'm trying to think where I'd like to go from there. I'll tell you a fight that was pretty entertaining in its own way. The fact that just multiple headbutts, all sorts of blood, and knockdowns, some good shots from the opponent. Bektimir Melikuziev getting a technical decision victory over Debombe from France. Trying to remember his first name. It might come to me. But, man, this was just a tremendously sloppy fight where both guys landed some big shots, but they could not seem to keep their heads from banging up against each other. You ended up having 2 cuts over the eyes of Debombe, one over the eye of Melikuziev. Neither of these guys going to be fighting again within 90 days, I wouldn't reckon. A very, very entertaining fight in its own way, Steve. I got a kick out of it. But I have to tell you, that same right hand that Rosado iced Melikuziev with is still very open today. And for whatever talent he has, I think Melikuziev is on his way to a defeat, depending on where they move him.
Yeah, I agree with you, actually. Nice, short and sweet. I think Melikuziev is going to be... He is an exciting fighter. He can punch. He puts his shots together lovely. This was awkward. Debombe came out. We weren't really sure what he was going to bring to the table. He was quite rugged. He was an awkward nuisance of a fighter without ever really winning too many rounds. The heads were clashing. It was very awkward. Andy mentioned earlier the cut was absolutely horrific, man. It was all over the place. So hopefully they can get that sorted out. Melikuziev get him to a title as quick as possible, because as you said, Matty, when the ending comes, it's going to be brutal. It's going to be vicious, mate. Very much like the Rosado fight. So let's get him through as best they can. That's not saying he's not a good fighter. I think he's got a lot of offensive capabilities, but he still retains those flaws. Someone will catch him at some point, so they're going to have to tread carefully until that happens.
I like him against the fucking against Berlanga. I was having trouble for his name there for a second. I think that's the right fight.
Him and Billy would be absolutely fire, man.
And Billy, yeah, that's a good one.
I think Billy finishes him off.
So?
Whereas I think him and Berlanga is a little bit more of a toss up.
I agree. And Billy would find him with the right hand, but as strange as this sounds, considering how many knockouts he's got, I'm not sure Billy is an absolutely massive puncher at world level. He's a physical grinder, isn't he? Just gets on top of you and throws heavy shots and clubs you down.
Everything's a fastball. That's my problem with him, Billy.
At higher level, anyone who can fiddle him about and sort of negate the range a bit, I think he might possibly struggle. Can Melikuziev do that? He's got fast hands. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'll tell you what, someone's getting knocked out in that one regardless, because I don't think either one of those guys is particularly afraid of punching with the other one. So that would definitely be an interesting fight. And Billy is fighting in a couple of months against God, Steve, do you remember who he's
no. Can't remember. I can see the post. Oh, it's Mark Heffron.
Mark Heffron.
Yes.
There you go.
See the poster in my head, May the 25th, I think that is.
There you go. So that you never know. Some promotional things in between there, but God knows, I think the people are being forced to make this happen. Let's see here. Go a little bit further down. Andy, I'm hoping you caught this one. David Jimenez getting a decision victory over John Scrappy Ramirez. What was a really good fight. I thought it might have been a little rough at times, but some good inside exchanges. Scrappy getting the beginning of the fight. And then Jimenez just kind of started forcing himself on him, started shortening up his shots, really throwing to the body. And Jimenez has another solid victory to his credit. That was at 115 pounds. And I think that might have been the aforementioned WBA. And I think he might be mandatory for Ioka now.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it last week, mate, that if it was close fight and on the cards, I expected Ramirez to possibly get it, because I think he was the Oscar fighter. But you're right about Jimenez. He has, just worked away quietly. He's come back there. He's had a couple of, even after the Dalakayan loss, he's still got a couple of decent names on the record there. Sandoval and Geigen Lopez, who I think he'd been world champion as well at some point. But yeah, he set a pace. Really liked the pace. He wasn't going to get out muscled on the inside. I hope Ramirez, even though he was kind of bloodied up across the mouth and that, but he did scrappy by name, scrappy by nature, obviously, but he did try to make it scrappy. But Jimenez, I thought it was just strong, bull strong. He seemed to be very, very strong at 115 now. Actually, I think that might be just his natural weight. He has been campaigning down at flyweight. It has obviously been weight hopping that as well, but I think 115 is where he's going to settle. Obviously, he's got a belt now. It'll be interesting if he goes back to Costa Rica, because obviously it'd just be good to kind of go home for a homecoming fight, I suppose, keep busy. And obviously the Ioka fight, which I think would be an interesting one as well. I think considering his activity levels, Jimenez, in terms of how he fights, I think he would give Ioka a decent fight, but possibly the experience, and I would maybe say Ioka's probably got a decent bit of pop about him. It might just...
Andy, can I just briefly say, I mentioned earlier about the WBA interim title situation. Yeah. I think that they made this fight against their own rules. They said they weren't going to do interim anymore, but they made this because I think Ioka is going to unify with Fernando Martinez. That's why this opened up the interim title for these two guys to fight.
That's a good fight.
I think that's what's happening. That's why this situation arose. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, that's fine. That's good to know, because as you say, mate, break the own rules at the end of the day. I mean, Christ, you've created a belt really in a circumstance where the fighter's actually active, the real champion's active. So why are you creating an interim
exactly
title? You know what I'm saying? It was only meant to be for a fight that was inactive for injury or political purposes, whatever it was. But yeah, well, I've no problem with Ioka Martinez. It's a great fight, unification. It's what you want. That said, Jimenez, I just like him. He's a good, solid B-side fighter. They always come to fight. it'll be interesting to see what he gets next. To be fair, I don't know if Oscar would maybe, or Eddie for example. I forget who's he signed with actually. He seems to have been. Is it Oscar he's with? Jimenez,
Ramirez?
No, Jimenez.
I'm not sure about Jimenez. I think he might even be like a sort of low ball promoter. Ramirez
Right.
was supposed to be the favourite to win, wasn't he? Really?
Yeah, he was.
He was a house fighter, wasn't he?
Yeah, house fighter. Quite a big favorite with the Bucks. Well, not a huge favorite, but favorite.
And of course, you've got Rodriguez fighting Estrada now in that as well, so that's another belt off the line. So I don't know if I maybe just. I need to check the rankings, but I don't know if he maybe try and fight Tanaka. I think he's still got the WBO belt, Matty? Tanaka.
Yeah.
So there's possible moves there, but I like to see him in some sort of meaningful fight. But he's not going to get a unification, obviously, with that interim title. I think you could maybe see him maybe just fighting some of these guys in the top 50, maybe like an Andrew Maloney type fighter.
Maybe they could entice Chocolatito into a fight with him. I think that would be a good scrap.
He's coming back, isn't he, Chocolatito, against somebody? I think next
Is he?
month or so. I think so. Yeah, I read that somewhere.
Interesting, because he's been out of the ring for as long as Estrada, I think. So we're talking about almost 18 months-ish. I think
that name, Steve.
December 22.
Ronald Batista. I seem to remember that name. Who did he fight recently?
Yeah, wasn't he on one of those? No, maybe not Pro Box, but like OTX or something. Oh, he fought Scrappy Ramirez in his last fight.
Is that what it was?
He got knocked out by him last October. Yeah, I knew I'd heard of him before.
And I'm just thinking about who's the other one I'm thinking about. Is it Argy Cortez?
Oh yeah, he's an
okay fighter. He went the
with
distance way. I think he got knocked down a few times off. What do you call him?
Nakatani he fought. Didn't
he fought Nakatani and he fought Estrada too, I think.
Yes.
Aye, so he would go rounds. He
gave Estrada a right good fight from what I can remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it was the Nakatani fight. I can remember getting dropped possibly a few times in that fight. And he seemed to be nails, mate. You know what I'm saying? So a solid, keep busy fight from till whatever happens with the winner of Martinez and Ioka. But Ioka's another one's got one foot out the door possibly in that as well. I think he's only another one looking for the big fights or meaningful payday fights now.
I thought he might end up in America, Andy, but it hasn't quite transpired for him.
Yeah, but possibly another one, mate, who's happy to play that Inoue role and that. The money's there for the guys in Japan and that. And as Inoue says 2 weeks ago and that, look, I'm getting paid over here. What the fuck should I need to go to America? You come to me.
Yeah, no shit. So I don't know. 115 is kind of an interesting division. There's some really good fighters in there, and I'd say Jimenez is right in that mix at this point in time because he is a rough fighter. But if he wants one back home in Costa Rica, that might be fun. Him and Yocosta Valle to fight in the same yard. I bet they'd pack it in there. But sadly, I don't believe they allow the consumption of liquor at sporting events. So that is a sad sidebar for the people of Costa Rica, if that were to come to fruition. Let's see here. Oh, I think I got. Just want to see if we got the other. There we go. What else happened on that card? I caught Derevinchenko against Von Alexander. Derevinchenko looked pretty good against a much bigger man. I'm shocked he's fighting at 168 pounds. Dropped Alexander in round 8 with a body shot, which is reasonably impressive. Alexander just about as tough as they come. So he moves onwards and upwards. Charles Conwell just kind of beating the snot out of Nathaniel Gallimore as the fight rolled on. The referee stepping in the 6th round. Conwell coming back. It's hard. We talk about Matias killing a guy in the ring. We forgot the Conwell, Patrick Day. Yeah. So, but he seems like he's doing all right. He's coming in at 154 there.
Sorry, Matt. See on that Patrick Day, I actually went back and checked that the day, mate. I forgot that was that's fucking years ago.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So I was like,
2019,
wow.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So can you imagine that guy actually? I mean, obviously this is pre-COVID. Can you imagine what it'd be like for him actually being locked up under COVID and that, and having to kind of sit and probably like a lot of times sit and think about that as well, and obviously keep his career in that intact as well.
And he's had a lot of promotional issues since, hasn't he? He's been out the ring about 18 odd months or something. He's had it tough, Conwell. He's a good fighter too.
He is. He's a very good fighter. Who's his brother?
I don't know. Oh, yeah, right enough. Who is his brother?
Chris.
Conwell?
No, I don't think they have the same last name. I think there might be half.
Yeah, they're going to say that. He's not Foster. It's not your man Foster. No, that's Shaquille Foster's brother, isn't it? Charles Foster. William Foster? No, it's something. I can't remember.
Yeah, that's going to kill us.
Gallimore must have been a late replacement, though, because I was looking at the notes from last week when we were about to start, and he was supposed to fight against our mate from Argentina, Gustavo Vittori. Do you remember? With him, he of 16 losses. Whatever happened to that guy?
I have no idea.
Disappeared. Gallimore
might
got
not been able to get in the country. Malay might have said, no, you will work.
We don't think you're very good. You've got 16 losses, man.
Stay home. Specialize. Anyhow, does anybody have any thoughts on that card before we move on? All right. Gonna move on there. Then did you guys catch the overtime boxing on Friday?
Yes, I did. Whether I can remember it or not is a different matter.
A couple of slight surprises on there. One a slight surprise, one a bigger surprise. Kurt Scooby, however they want to say it, it's 1-0. Fuck off. Had the snot beaten out of him by former Tough Man competitor Dakota Linger, who has a couple of interesting wins on his resume. Conwell, obviously the more talented fighter, obviously had all sorts of advantages. But Linger can eat a shot, and he just was able to find home for his right hand over the top as an uppercut. Beat the crap out of Scobie. My word, going to be a heck of a rebuilding process for that guy. As far as Dakota Linger, what an interesting kind of gatekeeper fellow. And then also on that one, you had Brandon Adams, after a near 3-year layoff, coming back and getting a third-round stoppage with a great left hook to the body over Ismael Villarreal, who ended up being a slight favorite with the books. I thought these two main fights on the card were pretty interesting fair, Steve, and I thought both were good while they lasted, but both surprised me as far as the outcome, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. I enjoyed this card. Excuse me. As for Adams, he was on the prediction league. Shout out to Joe Kennedy. I was kind of thinking to myself, you know what, Adams, he's a sneaky puncher, I think. He's maybe not always the most durable in the world.
He stopped Bahuchuk.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
Might have been 3 years ago, but he did it.
His record doesn't show a massive banger, but he strikes me as someone who can punch, and I think some guys shell up against him. And he caught Villarreal, as you said, with an absolute peach of a body shot. He was landing that left hook all night, and all of a sudden he caught him with about 5 seconds to go in the round. Villarreal has a bit of an AJ look about him, I thought, actually, when I was looking at his
Villarreal won on penalties, I think, didn't
he? But yeah, he got ice, man. He's a tough guy as well, and this is the first time he's been stopped, I think. As for Scooby, I believe that's the way they want to pronounce it, against Dakota Linger. Linger's a bit of a tough kind of trailer park kind of guy, isn't he? His corner team all happy to be there. He can definitely punch, bit of a tough guy. And I was pleased he got the win for many reasons. But I don't know whether this was fake news, but afterwards I was checking out one of the forums, and apparently Scooby had been talking some shit before this fight, which didn't translate into the ring because they all seemed very cordial before the fight. Afterwards, it was fought in a good spirit. But Scooby was saying, Linger taking this fight is suicide. I'm about to commit a homicide beforehand and all these kind of things. And this man going down and all this kind of distasteful talk, Matty. And unfortunately, it was him who went down because he took one hell of a beating. The referee gave him every chance. He was wobbling around at the end and there was no homicide to be had. But fair play to Dakota Linger anyway.
Yeah, it was a good one. Those overtime boxing events seem to have a few entertaining scraps to be found on them. Struggling for names, but the ones the fights that were earlier in the evening, a couple of decent things going on there too. Yeah. Some knockouts. They incentivize these guys for knockouts. They're just an overall knockout bonus. First and last round,
isn't it? They do the knockouts, and they've picked up guys a bit like Pro Box, Matty, people sort of on the periphery. Elijah Pierce, Haven Brady Jr., people who haven't really got a deal, and Brandon Adams now they've bought him back. I like to see these people getting a chance. It warms my soul.
Well, with these fights, they're doing a couple of little tournaments with these, and the next card to figure out who's fighting who is going to be at the end of May, I believe. So it's interesting watching this. They're kind of Donnie. Is Donnie still on?
No, Donnie's gone, but Adams Villarreal, I think, was a quarterfinal, Matty, and Astorga losing to Francisco Veron was another quarterfinal, and then as you said, they've got the other two coming up, and then they'll have the semi and the final eventually.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Bocchino tournaments that they did. They try to bring back, and I think Adams, that's what he might have competed in, or maybe that was the contender.
Contender, I think
Who
he
fucking
was,
knows anymore?
yeah.
But yeah, anyhow, looking forward to it. They got some good stuff going there, and like I said, not everything has to be a damn championship fight. Not everything has to have big implications. Just freaking entertain us.
You can bet on anything.
Fucking A, you can. Fucking A. And you can lose too, Rob. You can lose. Yeah, all of that money, the betting market's really closed on Haney by knockout, and a lot of people lost some money on that fight. I'm glad I only lost 10. Anyhows. So, but anyhow, there was a couple of fights going on cards you guys' direction, wasn't there, Andy? Did you see something else over the weekend? Noakes and Mendy, perhaps, I think was
yeah, I only seen the main event on the TNT card last night, mate. I was flicking between that. There was the Polish card that was on Master that made a return after the Bellum Smith debacle. I was saying to Rob in that in the chat, I couldn't remember what his injury was. What was it again, guys? You say it was a broken rib,
body
Steve?
shot, didn't he?
Yeah, it was a rib, wasn't it?
Was it a rib? So anyway, he was back in action last night, so he looked okay. So he's back in the win call. When that Mikhail Sislak, some of you guys maybe remember, cruiserweight, he got a stoppage as well. But yeah, Sam Noakes, to be fair, for what I've seen of it, he looked. It was a 12-0 victory easily. He looked pretty impressive. I was really impressed with the body shots. Well, I think we said it last week. The only thing that was really would have been missing really would have been the stoppage. Mendy just couldn't really kind of get much off him, just in terms of like freshness. Noakes, was just too quick for him in my opinion. So good win, picks up the European title as well. Yumbu, the big heavyweight, cruiserweight, I caught him. I don't know if it was an RJ, the guy he was fighting or whatever it was in that, but took him a few rounds. I suppose he served his purpose in that as well. So that was a lot kind of cult of the TNT card. I don't know if Steve or whatever. Oh, one thing I mentioned was when I mentioned I haven't seen it, but Twitter was ablaze last night. Apparently Jack Oliphant got knocked out last night. Apparently it was pretty brutal. Haven't been able to see it, but the people who were there were saying it was pretty bad.
Yeah, I heard. Excuse me, I heard the same as well. I didn't. I saw the end of Mendoza against. God, who was Mendoza fighting? I suppose it doesn't really matter, does it? I saw the end of that fight, and then I watched the main event. I know this isn't a unique perspective, given the fact he was 13-0 with 13 knockouts, but you can just tell Noakes can properly punch. Mendy at the beginning, he's never been stopped, and he was kind of a bit flip me, man. This guy can dig like to the body, to the head. And he went into his shell, got rocked a few rounds. The body shots were working nice. He can do the 12 rounds. Noakes, he's really maturing into a nice fighter. Beating Mendy, 120, 108, shutout, and all three cards is the next best thing from the stoppage. Wasn't the most entertaining thing in the world, but I think that's because Mendy was shelling up and moving around, trying to avoid being stopped. And Noakes did exactly what he needed to do. And also, we mentioned him last week. Shout out to the Ballyhornis Express. Got off his first win, 8 years young, Owen Lavin. He's 1-0 now after a 4-round win over, let me give him his props here. He beat Vasif Mamadov, 40-36. So they're young Owen, getting off to a good start on the undercard.
I'm so glad that you fucking pronounce his name, Steve. That's all I got.
What's he making his communion? Him, Owen Lavin.
Did you not catch him last week, Rob?
No, I didn't see him before.
Give licenses to anybody these days.
Oh, he was so well. Jesus Christ, he's going to frighten the shit out of his opponents in the stare down anyway.
Stare up.
I hope he comes stateside so people can call him Eogan.
Yogan leaving.
Let's see here. Were there any other cards to discuss?
Moreno, he got knocked out, didn't he? But I didn't see it, unless Andy might have done in Japan.
Sorry, mate. What was that? I just caught the Japan.
Moreno, yeah.
I didn't, mate. I'd read some comments saying, look, I was right. I mentioned it last week. He is still married to that woman, or got divorced to that woman. Sorry, she's still his manager, the poor bugger. I looked at the weigh-in pictures. He looks like a homeless bum these days, man. The hair, he looks dishevelled. What a state. Anyway, apparently he looked fucking awful. I need to go back. If you can give me 2 minutes, just let me
It
go
was
see
a
if I can get the
featherweight
result.
too. I mean, that's.
I mean, his
huge
best
for
days
him.
was super bantamweight, wasn't it?
At bantam at 118, wasn't it?
It was actually 118. You mentioned it.
Yeah.
Remember I shite fights against Sermano back in the day, man. He's still fighting as well, I believe.
Oh, this fight, yeah, it was supposed to be, but Sutsumi came in about 4 pounds overweight, didn't he?
Yeah, so he might get banned.
Oh, so he had
nothing wrong with that.
Dwarfed.
He done a King Roy.
When was that fight again? What date was that card again, mate? Sorry.
Wednesday night or morning? Can't remember.
Was that what date's that? Is that the 17th?
17th, yeah.
Right, hang on a minute here. This is dead air. This isn't great.
Oh.
But yeah. So someone's just mentioned that he's there we go. As I say, someone's mentioned about me the disabled bum. Look at the pictures and that. He said, yeah, he looked awful in there today. So what was the result?
3rd round loss.
Right. Okay. So
I think he just got knocked around the ring by the sound of it. But the fact that the guy has said was about 4 pounds overweight didn't help matters.
Yeah. And I'm just reading here as well. The wife apparently, or the ex-wife, I don't know, I can't confirm, but apparently gave him a cuddle after the guy had failed to make weight.
Nice.
So
feeling for the checkbook.
Yep. Just making sure. Remember my percentage of.
You got your purse, baby, didn't you? Go.
Maybe I'll get him an old fashioned in the bathroom on the airplane on the way back.
Sick. Oh, has to go there. Fuck's sake. Sicko.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be into that now. I have to say, the fucking, unless I was McGregor style on a private fucking plane, like, you know what I mean? I don't think I'd be up for that on a Ryanair, like.
Ryanair,
yeah. King Ryanair.
King Ryanair.
I tell you what, I bet he was in the fucking air last night once he hit the clubs and that, man. He'd be tasting the fucking rainbow with his phone when he wakes up.
Smoking on that Haney pack.
Well, he's probably praying to Jesus for forgiveness this morning. Let's see here. Well, let's thank everybody in the chat that we can. Got a good number of people in here. Fairly busy today for recently. We got Emmy Longlegs, Bill Cosby Haney, Dex 2024, MB, Johnny, Jim McDonald Boxing, M. Lithgow 1983. Let's see here. Who else we got in here? Tosh Brandon's home, Junior Malone. You just have to make it into 30 names, don't you, man? Let's see here. Arlene Burley in there. Chris Butler. Aunt B. Where's Opie? Boxing Channel. Andy, is that you?
Shh.
It's the fake boxing channel, like the fake Jim McDonald.
Kaiser Koba. Let's see here. Dave Tricks.
Think of that boxing channel. Had to put it in a super chat, all right?
David Palmer.
Hey, you click on that boxing channel, I'm doing the Lord's work.
Right, Garcia.
Steve knows.
Yeah, let's gonna say finally Andrew Thicket. That'll be enough for today. Thank you, everyone, for being in there today.
One more card, Matty. Sorry, just in case they'll be going mad if I don't mention it. Issy Asif, in association with Steve Lillis and Al Siesta. This is the new Bean Adam Smith venture last night in the Magna Centre in Rotherham.
Bean!
I didn't
WBNC title.
WBNC, I didn't see a stitch of it, but the boys are talking about it. Shaquille Thompson in the main event won some.
Any mention of ketchup bottles or anything?
No ketchup was mentioned, Andy, in this. There was a women's fight. Kieran Malloy, who was with the Conlons before, he got off to a good debut under GMB Promotions, got dropped in the 6th round and won by a point against an unheralded, let me get it right, Mexican, Checo, Sergio Herrera. So it's not going well for Malloy, who's a bit of a prospect, actually. And Huey Fury got a win as well on his big return after 2 or 3 years out of the ring. He won 59-56. So that's a round dropped and a couple of draws by my poor mathematical calculations against Konstantin Dovabishenko. They said he looked class on the Twitter, but the score would maybe suggest otherwise.
There you go for your obscure boxing reporting. Look nowhere but here.
Well, I'll tell you what, mate. As I say, apart from that main event on fucking DAZN last night, nothing else worth watching. So, yeah.
Malloy fight was a cracker, says MB, apparently. So
which one?
Malloy fight on the screen there, Andy. MB enjoyed it. I don't know where they watched that. Was it? I think it was on YouTube, actually. Maybe Nathan Newman, Matty put up the link.
Was it one of the
I think so, yeah.
prelim cards,
Yeah. Don't know what Bean's doing there, but anyway, we wish him well.
No questions in there this week, so I think we can just move on to previews. Let's see here.
Is there anything on next week?
I found things.
Oh, fucking hell. Where are we going? Mongolia?
We're going first to Australia, Andy. We're going to Australia.
I've seen this card. I've seen this. Nikita Zoo.
Oh,
yeah. Well, we got Nikita Zoo going in with 8-1-1, Danilo Criade. Then we got in the main event, or maybe it's not the main event. This is an IBF eliminator, interestingly enough. Undefeated Jerome Pampalone versus Malik Zanad, also undefeated at 21-0. Then you got Mexican, who now calling Australia home, Cesar Mateo Tapia, undefeated, taking on the also undefeated Caber Gonzalez, who is 20-0. So not a bad little card there, possibly from Oz. Nikita Zoo's been in some fucking banging fights in his career so far. So yeah,
that'd be a good one, Matty. And the other one, there's tell you what, there's some decent fights on this actually. Trent Rose, No Limit Boxing. He puts on some good cards, well matched cards. Tapia, 16-0. Gonzalez, as you said, 20-0. Zinad in the main event. He's a puncher, he is. I've seen him before. He's a Libyan based in Malta against Pampalone, who's from London, and he's based in New Zealand, 18-0 against 21-0. There'll be good fights around the
I've
Sue
seen him
fight.
as well.
Yeah, they're decent. And Sue, I'll tell you what, he's easy to hit, Sue, Andy. He's not as refined and polished naturally as his brother. He's had about 20 less fights, but he's there to be hit. He's been dropped a couple of times, I think, in fights before.
I can't remember if it was a Brubaker fight, mate, or the Biggs fight, but he had to fucking go to the well. I think he might have got cut or badly. Definitely got the eyes definitely badly.
I think it was his last fight against Biggs, wasn't it? He got badly dropped in one of the rounds, yeah.
I can't remember if he got badly dropped, mate, but I know he got badly cut off.
Oh, didn't he get elbowed or something like that?
Something along the lines, mate, and it got a bit wild, but 8-0, 26, he's Australian champion, so this is his first defence. I see how this guy's record actually who's fighting. So he's got a loss to Zarafa, so
he can't punch either.
Yeah, one knockout. Yeah, so I'll probably think maybe Zoo by stoppage. I better not jump in there, mate. I might need to eat a humble pie later on for my prediction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're amateur psychologist.
Aye. We need to find out what Zarafa's doing these days, mate. I don't know if him being a playboy maybe took a mental toll on him over the days, not having to shag all the fucking grab a grannies on the fucking cruise ships.
Got tired of being looked at as a piece of meat, Andy.
Don't be taking my predictions fucking seriously. Anyway, I'm on the Ryan Garcia fucking training program here. Do you know what I mean? I'm fucking smoking every time I'm on the pod and drinking every time I'm on the pod. It's fucking, do you know what I mean?
I've seen.
I thought you were going to tell me you were getting molested by global elites. I didn't know what direction you're going there.
I've seen this.
That's for Rumble.
Back to the real stuff.
Let's get ready to rumble, Matt. Andy,
Pampalino or Pampalino or Pamp my ass, whatever it is. Anyway, I've seen him before. Actually, seems a decent fighter.
Pamp up the jam.
Pump it up.
Cockney based out in New Zealand now, so he's fighting in Australia. So he's just looking at. He's had his entire career actually out that neck of the woods, fucking New Zealand.
Yeah, he based himself out there, I think, didn't he, afterwards to start his career? But as MB said, he was decent as an amateur, apparently.
Aye, yeah. As I said, I've seen him. Not much, but I have seen him one of these fights. I think it might have been. I want to say it was the last one that he fought against the Mexican, actually, but it was the Mexican because I think he went the distance with Khalid Plant, knocked him out in one round. So it might be decent fare, mate. You just never know. Some of these Aussie cards can actually serve up some decent knockouts in that as well, you know.
All right. Well,
Two women's fights for you. No, 3 women's fights for you there as well, Matty. So you can get the Kleenex looked at.
God.
Oh God. Anyhow,
Nobody needs that, even Matty.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so we got that going on from Oz on that'll be Wednesday the morning for me.
Was that the best
Wednesday
card of what's
afternoon
coming
for
up, by the
you.
way, before we finish these
No,
previews? Was
yeah.
that the best of them?
Well, it might be
Or
the
you
best
build
one,
it to
but
a
there's
crescendo
more.
here?
But there's more. We got a Pro Box card on Wednesday. These are always going to have an entertaining fight or two on them. Going to have Max Ornelas taking on Alexander Mesha. Going to have Joshua Greer Jr. against Jerson Ortiz. What a dumb name. Ronnie Rios making a comeback, taking on Nicholas Polanco, who always brings it. Ramon Cardenas won the loss on his ledger, taking on Jesus Ramirez Rubio, 22-2-3. Oh, so many draws. I love it. And then in the main event, undefeated Marquez Valle taking on Damian Sosa. Steve, I think this is another decent one. I like this offering from ProBox, and we'll be tuning in this Wednesday per usual. Yourself?
Yeah, yes, absolutely will be. Valle, I've seen him before in his last fight. It was the same location actually against Farid Ngoga, who was also undefeated. Valle got the win. And a quick mention as well on the undercard. Last week we mentioned Ali Feliz making his debut, and I went into a sort of boring anecdote about his father, Fenelli Feliz, who once fought a fat middleweight. Well, anyway, Fenelli Feliz Jr., son of Senior and brother of Ali, is on this card. He's 7-0 with six knockouts, and he's got a rather impressive afro as well. So looking forward to him. And he's already got a fight scheduled in for June in 2024. So his opponent's bound to be decent based on that fact.
Fantastic. Isn't it odd how these things all come together? It's
Yes.
almost like we're in a simulation.
Cool.
Yeah. Anyhow. Then
he's trying to draw me out tonight, isn't he? What's wrong with him?
It's just not that difficult, Rob. I wasn't even trying there. I might actually believe that. Let's see here. And then on Friday, this is going to be on DAZN to the best of my knowledge. Going to have this might be an MVP. No, this is Box Lab Promotions. I thought this might have been MVP. Maybe it is because
Tellez. Yes, I think MVP do have something to do with that actually.
Yeah, so in the main event, Yoenis Tejas is aforementioned in a potentially fixed fight, taking on also undefeated Joseph Jackson, who's 19-0. Benigno Aguilar is taking on Alexandro Rios Vega, who's 8-1, going in against the undefeated Aguilar. Undefeated one draw to Michael Harris. Going in with 11-7, Blaze Ezequiel Caro. That one might not be that interesting. Then we got an undefeated Jean-Paul Rivera Pizarro taking on also undefeated David Perez at featherweight. So that's going to be going on Friday night stateside. You guys can catch that on Saturday morning.
Quick shout out, Matty, on that card. Dainier Perro. I think he might be something to do with the other Perro. Is it Lanier Perro? Cuban heavyweight. This guy's 6-0, 4 knockouts. He's only 24. He's managed to escape from Cuba over to Florida. And I've seen his name mentioned before somewhere. He can definitely bang a bit. He puts his shots together well, so he could be one to look out for. And Tellez, as you mentioned, of fixed fight fame.
He bangs. He bangs. He moves. He moves.
Going in against Joe Jackson, who can bang as well. So yeah, that's a nice little card. I might try and catch that.
Wish I could escape to Florida and bang.
Box Lab Promotions, Andy, in Florida on Friday night.
Is that pay-per-view?
No,
not
regular DAZN.
Oh, is it DAZN? Not very good.
Yeah, I don't think it was listed as DAZN. They're having a hard time getting some stuff on BoxRec. It seems like, because there's one card that I got to remember. I got to look
as well.
right
The cunts.
I know they're a bunch of bastards. We got this one also on DAZN. Going to be in Liverpool. Let's see here. Which ones do we want to bring up from the bottom here? I find it odd that Joe McGrail, who is still undefeated, is not the headliner in this card, taking on Ryan Walker. Junal Bastain taking on Jack Martin, 9-1. Let's see here. You got Pat McCormick taking on Williams Andres Herrera, 16-3. Let's see here. Beatriz Ferreira taking on Yanina del Carmen Liscano. How the fuck does this fight end up in England? One wonders. That one's for
see if they can move it to Ireland.
World lightweight title. And then Peter McGrail going to be taking on Mark Leach on late notice. Interesting change of opponent there. Andy, your thoughts on the card?
I suppose for McGrail, at least Peter McGrail, that is, it's a comeback fight of sorts that it's favourable to him. You know, Leach isn't a big naughty puncher. Has lost his last 2 or 3 fights, I'm sure. Is probably British level, so again, it's probably a decent test for McGrail at this point, especially coming off that. I think
nasty knockout.
It was a bad one. Like I'm trying to remember what round it was.
Since that knockout, he's found God. You know that?
Oh God!
They're calling him the Holy McGrail now.
That's pretty good, Rob. That's pretty
good. Excuse me, Pat McCormick. I know nothing about the guys fighting in Argentinian. Again, an unknown to me. I can't mind the Paddy Donovan fight. I'm just looking at some of his scores now. Actually, don't recognise the fight. Just your typical Eddie Fair, isn't it? It's just a typical what we become expecting of your normal Saturday fair. If it's no pay-per-view or in Saudi Arabia, this is what you're getting on British shores at least. So it's not great, mate. It's just really. Well, it's a nice gen card, really. If you look at it, you know, Pat McCormick, Peter McGrail.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You've got the women's fight there. You've mentioned the other McGrail brother there, I'm sure. You've got a debutant on the card. You've got Frank Stringer 6-0, Stephen Clark 2-0. Another women's fight there, whose one fighter is undefeated, and I'm sure there's another guy who's undefeated as well. So again,
this has less star power than a college film project.
Mate, we would probably get more 5 stars for this fucking podcast, for this episode, than any of the fights we'll get on Boxrec, I can guarantee it.
Yeah, two stars up there.
It's a hot new prospect.
Sorry, that's like just me 2 minutes shitting on Eddie's card. Sorry, Eddie. Good evening to you.
Evening, Ed. We haven't heard from Ed in a while. He's been quiet. There's a hot prospect training at the McCracken's gym in Birmingham. I hear he's doing a lot of heavy duty sparring this week. Man, like take aims at your face. That's what they're going to call him now when he starts fucking lacing up the gloves. So shout out to Ames. He's down there training with D2 and a few of the guys in Birmingham. So watch out.
Is he really?
Anyone talking slick in that fucking chat, watch what you're fucking saying. Get the 2-piece off Ames.
No way.
I already got beat up by an 11-year-old the other day, so he has work to do. But
It wasn't Owen Lavin, was it?
As Angel Garcia says, mate, it's the only way you learn to get your ass beaten fucking sparring. Just defend the body shots, mate, because there's nothing worse when you kind of roll over in bed or try and wipe your arse when you're in a shite. You just can't get to it by any feasible place because your ribs are fucking sore because some motherfuckers massaged them.
You're doing the King Roy shoulder roll, Andy?
I hope he doesn't do the King Roy arse roll as well. He's down there.
He's need to do the Pat McAfee over the top rope in the Royal Rumble. That's what he needs to climb in and climb back out again. Fuck that shit. Too old to hate games. You're too old, mate.
Anyhow, so yeah, you'll be able to watch that one Saturday night. Your side.
Ames is not answering the chat. He's doing fucking press ups as we speak.
Exactly.
He's shadowboxing.
I had a tiger, mate. He's from Sri Lanka though.
I think
he's not.
I think as well, Matty McGrail was supposed to fight that Jericho O'Quinn in a rematch on this fight, wasn't he?
Yeah.
O'Quinn withdrew due to family reasons, and that was where Leach got thrown in. So the main event would have been more intriguing if O'Quinn had been able to fulfill it.
I thought it was it even supposed to be on over there, or was it supposed to be on an undercard over here? I can't remember.
It was this. It was supposed to be this exact card in this main event, to the best of my knowledge.
Yeah, still a pretty fucking shitty card at the end of the day, though.
Well, one to look out for. I'm not saying this saves the card by any stretch, but that Junaid Bostan you mentioned, he's going in a 10-rounder against Jack Martin. Doesn't seem to be an area title on the line. Maybe there is. Bostan looks decent, actually. He can punch. He puts his shots together nicely. He's looked good so far, so he'll be one to watch. But apart from that, as you said, it's pretty light stuff.
Yeah. Yep. But, it's better than nothing whatsoever, especially after having a fun, surprising week as we had this last week, actually.
Well said.
And then in the evening over here, when you guys wake up over there on Sunday morning from Fresno, California on DAZN, this card, these are the only 2 fights listed. This is on ESPN. Couldn't find it at all on BoxRec, actually. Gonna have Jose Ramirez against Rancid Bartholomew, right, Andy? And then Virgil
Correct.
Ortiz against Thomas Delorme at 154.
What card's this?
It's on DAZN.
Yeah, it's not on BoxRec.
Saturday night.
That's how good it is, Andy. They're not even bothered putting it on BoxRec. It just said itself.
Who's the promoter, Matty?
That
De La Hoya?
would be Golden Boy.
Yes, De La Hoya.
Is it?
Yep. Ramirez, Bartholomew, and whatever the other fight was. I've forgotten already.
He's doing a good job with this promotion anyway, Oscar.
Virgil Ortiz against Thomas Delorme.
I even done the promotion.
Virgil Ortiz. Oh, I thought you said
So this is
Virgil Ortiz for a second. I said
Ortiz,
shit.
right? Okay, sorry. I just pulled. I had to go on the internet and pull this card, mate. So Ortiz, Delorme. Who else is on it?
Jose Ramirez and Rancid Bartholomew, and those are the only ones I can find listed. Andy's shocked that this is the card.
Yeah, I mean Ortiz obviously coming back, and Delorme's been. He's had his time, hasn't he? I can't remember. Delorme was a thing 10 years ago against who was it? Keith Thurman. What I say?
He got his first loss was against what was his name, like Carlos Abregu.
Yeah, possibly. Mate.
Then he went down to 140, I think.
I can
Didn't he shock
understand.
somebody a few years ago, Andy? It wasn't an undefeated guy. I think I remember seeing him beat.
He gave Terrence Crawford a few decent rounds.
Yeah, he did
fight.
actually. He was quick, wasn't he, early on? Can't remember. Oh, Terrell Williams, 2019. He beat him that was a shock decision. I remember watching that at the time.
Drew with Jesse Vargas.
Yeah. Oh, right, yeah. That was one of the PBC cards. That's right.
Kareem Mayfield. He beat Kareem Mayfield. Remember him? He was a thing back in the day. He was a thing.
Man. That's crazy.
He was undefeated.
He's been out of he'll have been out of the ring for almost 2 years. When they
Boots iced him, didn't he, without barely landing a punch last time I saw him?
Yeah, so that says it all then, Matty, really. I mean, look, it's a safe option for Ortiz because you just you would not even bet against Ortiz pulling out this fight on fight week because he can't make weight or he becomes ill trying to make the weight or trying to lose the last few pounds. Jose Ramirez, good fighter. I just don't know what he's got left at this point, but Bartholomew will probably ruin that fight in terms of how his style goes, mate. So, but into Ramirez to try and open him up and try and dominate in a fashion that just isn't going to leave any problem with the judges. If he can get a stoppage, it'll be a big thing because Bartholomew is he's just one of the guys who can nullify you and just drag it out for fucking yeah. So shite.
There you go. So yeah. Well, goddamn, I'll tell you what, Steve. We're wrapping up these last few weeks just nice and tight. Yeah. So, yeah, and if you're ready to take it away for the value of the week, I think we're there.
Absolutely.
Unless anybody has anything to say about that card, it's very underwhelming.
No, but a quick word on who was Crawford announced the fight, or did they say Crawford was muted to fight?
Madrimov, isn't it?
It's all but then they're saying that Charlo activated his status, and he's
but then he said he didn't activate the status afterwards, didn't he, or something? Or he was happy to let it go. There was something happened a day later, wasn't there? I think could be wrong.
Happy to see Bud back, but not against this. Like, I know he's holding out for a big payday, but I don't know. I would have preferred a bigger fucking name than this from. Like, what's this beating Madrimov at 54 doing for him? Like,
the first fight in a new weight class, I'm kind of comfortable with anybody wading in if they want to. And Madrimov is an undefeated fighter, right?
And he's not fucking. He's going up to 54 too. I think his best weight is 47. And regardless of his age, he probably could operate at 54 because of how good he is. But yeah, he needs a fight to get there. So, but still shit, like compared to where he was at had the world at his feet after beating Spence. Like, so anyway, quick one for that. Move on.
All right.
Yeah. Happy enough then, Matty?
Yeah, I think we've done good. Fuck even doing the values. Let's just go.
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly. Well, I'll tell you what, flip me, there'll be an absolute riot if we don't do the values. I've got sent that many. I've managed to pick about 12 out. So if you've sent something in to me, apologies. We'll try and play them, videos and all sorts of things, X-rated material. Some of them include Some of them include.
This better involve Da Senior, by the way. Yeah, Garcia Senior with that fabulous
Henry, Hurricane Hank Garcia.
Well, what was it? Kate Abdo called him. That's some fantastic sperm you must have there, Hank.
Oh yes, that's right. That's right. Oh yeah, Ed. He was beefing with Eddie, wasn't he, or something?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck,
You fucking prick! You suck my cock.
I'll try and see if I've uploaded it. I definitely downloaded it somewhere. We'll try and find it. Anyway, in the meantime, Rob's here, Andy's here, Matty's here. Episode 569. Yeah, this is Garcia. He was going off on one all week, wasn't he? And this is him getting stuck into Bill Haney. Cover your ears if you're a little bit sensitive, but then again, you wouldn't be here this far if you were.
Where's your mama at, baby? Where's your mom? Oh, I'm gonna go flirt with your mama. Ooh, she about to be fine as fuck. Yeah, I want some of your mama. I want your mama now. Your mama probably in my DMs. Fuck you, motherfucker. Don't talk about my mom before I fuck you up. Yeah, that fear coming in your mouth like a bitch, dog. I'll put my dick in your mouth, bitch.
Ryan, what's that, Ryan?
Hey, pause, no Diddy.
Something is wrong with this motherfucker.
Hey, where's your mom?
Where's P. Diddy, by the way? Did Devin get a wee quiet comfort call from P. Diddy over the last 24 hours, possibly? Hey,
hope not. That fucking phone is tapped.
Well, I'll tell you what, mate. Devin better hope there's no fucking videos kicking about in that gaff he has, by the way.
Oh,
the FBI actually picked up, you know what I'm saying?
That's the 2024 version of Rough and Tough. I'm gonna put my here's your mama at.
I actually kind of think that's the 2024 version of "I'll fuck you till you love me."
Yeah, the Tyson. That's what I was thinking, actually.
Not quite as scary. Just a notch down. Intimidating.
Aye. Only amateurized psychologists would think, Andy, that he lost the plot after that point.
Psychologist, what a fucking...
Yeah, I know. I mean, mate. But by that point, mate, you'd be thinking, if we did that in our employment environment, mate, what would happen to us? We'd probably get psycho-evaluated before we got sacked. We'll put in garden leave for a couple of weeks before HR decided, is he mentally insane? Do you take drugs? You drink on the job?
No.
Yeah, bitch, what are you going to do about it? I'm a psychologist, you know what I'm saying? Something's wrong with him. Everybody does it. Every fucker walks across the street. There's some bum walking down the street who looks a dishevelled mess. Oh my god, man, he looks like he's a bit fucking. You know what I'm saying?
You mean that's Mama Moreno?
Mama Moreno. Mama Moreno.
King Roy, man. He's gone E for explicit this week. Declan Graffin sent this one to me as well. He was trying to get on the pitch at the Mets, and they wouldn't let him.
So guys, the Mets just wasted 3 hours of our life to say at the end we can't throw the pitch for whatever reason. There was no reason. And they kicked us out for no reason. So everybody, I'm personally going to say fuck the Mets. Don't ever go to a fucking Mets game again. Fuck the Mets.
Yes, go Yankees.
That's what I'm saying. That's what we need to know, mate.
Ask Mickey Mantle if we can pay the rents.
Up the Yankees. Up the Yankees.
He's got absolutely bad, hasn't he? Oh, King Roy. But he did come off with some funny material. There you go. This is why you don't drink Prime, but respect to Haney for getting up every time.
Did you see Oscar at the weigh-in, by the way, when he came in? Like, obviously it was pre-planned, wasn't it? But he was like over the weight, and Oscar's looking at him, and he's like, "We're ready, baby. We're ready." He's gonna knock him out, no problem. Oscar's like, just doesn't even believe in half of what he's fucking saying to himself. He's just fucking nuts.
Oh, it was quite the spectacle.
You ever tried that Prime stuff? It's fucking rotten.
Nah. They were going mad for it, weren't they? With all that fake value, inflated value and all. A year ago.
The new flavour would come out, it was costing like £10 a bottle. £10 a bottle.
I know.
Set fire to this shit.
Too old for this life. Henry Garcia.
If I pay £10 for a bottle, it better be like a fucking genie in a bottle, and J-Lo jump out of it after I pay it for £10.
Or he gets involved, mate.
Take that.
Quebec City.
I'm not filming this, by the way.
Yeah, I managed to get that clip anyway, Andy. Henry and Eddie going in. Here we go.
Big respect to Ryan Garcia. He was amazing. I thought, well done. Oh, really? Fuck you.
Fuck you. Hey, my son, you piece of shit.
What are you talking about?
Fuck you. You know you're a piece of shit. And that's what you get. Now what are you going to say? Luke Campbell? And fucking Devin Haney, fuck you. Now, who you got? Who do you got?
Jerron Ennis.
Who?
Jerron Ennis.
How about Pitbull?
You know he's good. Jerron Ennis is good.
They're all good.
Respect. It's a good performance.
Sorry.
I know you're emotional.
Man, sorry.
Listen, it's a sport. When you win,
I know,
I'll
but...
give you all the respect in the world.
Okay, give Ryan the respect.
I just told him.
You did?
Absolutely.
Thanks.
This is how we work.
Sorry.
Don't worry. I respect you. I accept your apology.
Thank you.
No problem.
What an odd exchange.
The mystery of Ryan's mental health deepens.
As soon as he said he knew, Jerome Boots Ennis, it was like saying Omar from The Wire. He was coming back. Yeah, sorry about that.
That arse hit the flare quicker than that arse hit the fucking flare quicker than fucking Fabio Silva done the day by the fucking semis.
The more you see Henry Garcia in the promotion, the more you see where fucking Ryan is getting it from. Don't you look
exactly
with the fucking head died off at 50 years of age.
Aren't his parents going to drag him back in? Oh, okay.
Oh, fuck's sake. Go down like the fucking, he's on the fucking set for La Bamba. Fucking
I was just thinking, you know, if Bob had a kid and like, you know, like, and he was a boxer, I could totally see Bob being like that when they were all grown up.
Oh, possibly. Could be. He's had a good week anyway. Right, what else have we got here? Let's have a look. There is a lot of Garcia stuff. Just stay tuned. Douch Chisora was on this week. He said AJ would wipe the floor with Usyk under Ben Davison. I don't think it would go 6 rounds. Where was the dossier, the Davison dossier last night, eh?
Flew out of fucking Haney's mouth in the first round after he got a punch in the fucking jaw. Oh my God.
Back down the performance centre.
Unrivaled. Look at this.
Ryan Deal's been up to no good again as the guard was announcing himself at the Crypto Fight 4. Ryan got stuck in with some.
Is that mini me horns there, by the way?
He goes around dressed like he's the fucking leader of a load of Victorian chimney sweep pickpockets, doesn't he?
Well, Ryan said the guard hatter.
Kingston, Jamaica.
Oh dear me. Back to more palliable things here. On why he chooses his own ring card, girls, David Hay back in the day was commenting. He says, I do, but only because earlier in my career the promoters would organise these girls. And you'd be sitting on your stool between rounds and you'd look up and see a complete and utter mingo walking around the ring. It was actually a distraction. You'd be thinking, why is she in the ring? And what possible good can come from her being there?
Good point. Well made there by the haymaker.
Cold ass shit.
They're like, we're going to pay you $550,000 for this. But listen, let's get to the important part. Who's doing the ring walk? Who's doing the fucking ring cards? Let's bring them in here. And how do they feel about polygamy?
The WBC, we mentioned them earlier. They've made the Tamalopis belt. Over 15 people were involved in the creation of this belt, which will be fought on May the 4th between Canelo Alvarez and Jaime Munguia, a fight that celebrates the great fights among Mexicans in a Cinco de Mayo weekend. They are, Rob. What about that? It's looking well, that, isn't it?
It's 14 more people than will ever hold that belt. Fuck's sake.
Tamale pass belts, they are. They love a good
They
belt.
should give it to Riddick Bowe so he can do what's appropriate with it.
Exactly. Take out the trash. What else we got here? The Hippodrome Casino with a sponsored post rocking in. Just leave him alone. Join Tony Bellew, reluctantly, no doubt, live in Lola's to watch Fury versus Usyk on our massive 10-meter screen. Book your ringside seat now. The former world champion. What?
Bello.
I don't know if that's a typo or not.
Lola's down in Lola. Come down to Lola's. Catch Tony Bell, you see.
He's going to be live in the building. Limited seating for an intimate experience. Exclusive prizes throughout. Test your strength with a punch machine. Complimentary beer on arrival until 9 p.m. Only £50 per person for an unforgettable night of boxing action. Expert analysis and more. And then, look down here, Rob, live in conversation. Tony Bellew, Johnny Fisher, Big John, and David Alorca.
Talk about bang for your buck. David Alorca, who the fuck is that?
I don't know. How does John Fisher get in there, man?
How does he fit in there? I wonder who Bellew was going to predict as the winner in that fight.
I know it's
funny feeling he may lean towards Alexander.
He might well do. There was a bit of beef going on this weekend, this week apparently. Anthony Fowler was getting some vile trolls after him about his CBD oil. Paul Merson jumped in to help him out, and one of the boys tweeted out to them, Kia, and said, "My son has started using Supreme CBD recently. I've just come home from work to find him like this." At Paul Merson, at Supreme CBD, and of course the boys.
Alexander.
Amazing. Looks like it's working anyway.
Bad crowd, man. Bad crowd. Oh, dear me. Right, what else have we got here? Oh, Raf, Elusive 2.0. We haven't heard from him in a while. He's giving some unrivaled analysis this morning. He says Ryan Garcia and Anthony Joshua are the two biggest sex symbols in world boxing, although AJ's marketing potential was arguably higher. Ryan mainly appeals to the teenage girl market, whereas AJ is more masculine and appeals to several age groups in the female market, including mature demographics. Joshua,
what the fuck is he talking about, man?
Millions of men who support him, whereas Ryan's backing is predominantly female. Hashtag Haney Garcia.
That guy needs to be put on a fucking billboard for Crime Watch.
Something up with that. He's hinting at something. I don't know what he's hinting at there, but I don't. It's not nice.
Oops.
Jesus. What's he at there? Like, come on.
There's about a 90% chance that he came in his pants after.
Yeah.
Ryan Garcia is going to distance himself from
You're a betting man, Matty. I'd say that's higher.
Love a bit of elusive.
Looking for value, Rob. I'm looking for value.
Unrivaled work there from Raf.
Conor Ben has been having a bit of back and forward with Ryan Garcia. First of all, Ben says, great performance from Garcia. I called it. Credit to Haney for getting up off the floor 3 times. I will fight any of these guys. And Ryan says, let's run it in London at the O2. I will fracture you spleen. Spelt wrong. And then eat it. Shout out London.
Let's go, King Ray.
And Ben says, don't be another loudmouth like Javumpa Lumpa. If you're really about it, let's do it next. And I'll smash your teeth down your neck, you wanker. And then Garcia says, you know I'm about the business, but you can't even fight in your own country. What the fuck?
Why is everyone a wanker to Conor Ben? Shut up, you wanker. You're the wanker, mate.
Oh, dear. Some good ones this week. What else have we got? Oh, Dan Raphael. Round 12, Haney 10-9. Having winning 114, 112. Despite the knockdowns. Whoever you have, it was close. Hell of a fight, Rob. Props to both guys.
There's no fucking math that makes that correct.
He must be some kind of armchair psychologist, or I can't get out of the armchair psychologist. I don't know what it is.
Oh, fat damn, man. What else have we got? Oh, the blonde bomber jumped in, no doubt. She says, hey, Ryan Garcia, brilliant win. Devin Haney couldn't KO you, but let's do a collab on OnlyFans and KO OnlyFans too. Wink, wink, kiss emoji.
Shooting her shot there, the blonde bomber. Maybe
what would Jesus think about it?
Does she know who Ryan Garcia is? The fucking Ryan Garcia appeals to the fucking Latina demographic. He's one of the fucking most popular men on social media. She could go work there as the security, maybe, for him. You know that way?
She might be able to get a job as the fluffer on that set.
Give me a break. Yeah. I guess you don't want to see the Phoenix. He's got fucking Bohemian Grove on his mind. He's talking about the Moloch.
Rob,
you don't need to see the Phoenix.
Let me just tell you this, man. If you ever have a chance to go see a fight in Phoenix, you should go.
Brutalmente.
Rise like the Phoenix. Right, what else have we got here? Ryan Garcia was tweeting out. He says, if you or someone has dementia, I advise you to drink wine. Pray to the Lord as best as you can and smoke weed and do it to the point of exhaustion. And then make sure your caffeine intake is high. And then below it, readers added context. This is just a sarcastic post at Twitter presented as fact, but none of the claims above are medically proven. Do you find this helpful?
That's where you're wrong, because when Ryan Garcia was interviewed by Alex Jones, and he said, hey man, they took my memory, and Alex was like, are you talking about electroshock treatment, Ryan? Are you talking about they placed magnets on your head and erased your memory? Is this what you're saying, Ryan? I know you can't say too much, but is this what you're saying? And Ryan's like, I just drank a lot of coffee, man. I knew they were trying to take my memory, so I know this sounds crazy, but I just drank like 10 cups of coffee. And Alex is like, okay.
Oh man, class. Yeah, I got sent loads more, but that's all I can manage.
So you're saying that wasn't evidence-based research, Steve?
that wasn't evidence-based. Oh yeah, man, I was gonna. If I had more time today, I would have done more with the Ryan Garcia, Richard D. Hall angle. But what have you got for us, Rob? Anything that hasn't turned up on the list here?
Oh yeah, there's a few of them. There was Devin Haney saying that he worked on the left hook, and he came out in the first round and he fell asleep. So he did a chokwu. He fell asleep on the left hook. He's Devin. I'm having a dream, Haney. And then Gervonta was wilding the fuck out on Twitter last night. Tank Davis was having a fucking field day celebration when Garcia got the win, and he encouraged his followers that he was going to publish the address of one of Haney's team, a guy called Dirt, who wouldn't pick up FaceTime to him as he was trying to call him, and he was going to give out his address so people could send blow up posters of Haney on the ground with his ass sticking up. Oh, did he?
What the hell?
They had a Photoshop Puff Daddy behind him.
Yeah, so fucking Tank was going in, and yeah, that was as much as I have, I think.
Very good. Yeah,
and just fucking Garcia for the wind up in the when you know that part where he's like doing the song, and he's like doing what it do, boo boo boo, do, and then it cuts to Haney. He's like, I don't know if Ryan Garcia is taking his fight serious or not.
I know, yeah. Yeah, I had a clip of him with the beer bottle, and then I had the Chukwu one as well. But I don't know what's going on with this StreamYard. Sometimes, man, you upload them, the pictures disappear. Maybe I'm going off the reservation here. Yeah, I think Haney's boots gonna have to get a recommendation on there as well. The Dunnell Mill special.
What the fuck are they, man? They're like Poundland Uggs, anyway.
Are they some kind of like Balenciagas or something like that? Customs. They look like expensive tat.
He looks like he's going shopping with Floyd in Paris.
Floyd was in on the celebrations as well last night. Fucking
shocking.
Yeah, he got fucked up. He said something like that.
Matty, have you got any to throw in, please?
I am.
Oh, sorry, Steve. I had a few more. B-Hop just can't leave fucking Bill Haney alone, man. He won't. He's not letting the beef.
Did he fall into the bathroom again?
He tried to kick off some shit at the head-to-head, and then now bear in mind B-Hop is a Muslim as well. But just before the fucking decision was read, he said "Allahu Akbar" to Bill Haney and opened his hands like he was doing a prayer book. So he's wilding the fuck out as well. Oscar for just his general presence. Like, you got to give a fucking Oscar fucking. You don't know what the fuck is going on. They said afterwards, what about Tank rematch? And Oscar was like straight away thinking into business mode, right? We have this fucker now. He's at his apex. And he was like, yeah, that's going to be at a catch weight of 143 like they did to him. Yeah, that's happening. All right.
Right enough. I had one of Oscar in like a yellow suit as well somewhere. What the fuck are all these gone, man? Anyway, thank you, Rob. Matty, yes, any from you, please?
So my value nomination is going to go to every single one of us boxing fans that ate and bought into Ryan Garcia's shtick. The fact that this happened is stunning. It's absolutely stunning. And I started thinking midweek, there's got to be something to this. No one's this fucking crazy. Oh, well, I'm not going to say no one's this fucking crazy, but anyhow. And all of us just bought in, and we were betting on Haney by KO, just saying this is going to be disastrous. He's going to end up crying in the ring. And he knocks the motherfucker down like 3-4 times, wins the fight. So all of us that bought his bullshit and played right into his hands, yeah, I have to say that, yeah, we deserve to win it this week.
Happy to take it. Andy, what have you got for us, please?
Yeah, so you got the Eddie shtick with Garcia Senior. Mike Coppinger, did anybody see his tweet this morning in regards to the scorecard? I think he had Haney winning, was it 113, 110?
Yeah, I saw something, but it was deleted by the time I got to it.
Yeah, so he's deleted that tweet because I'm not taking credit for it, but anyway, I just took an extract of our great Bob father telling him what to do and getting Darryl to get remove him from the premises. So it was good to see. But I tell you what, the responses to that tweet were quite unanimous. Like, what the fucking fight were you watching, mate? So yeah, he swallowed that one. And one for Suleiman again. I know he got involved with the title situation last time, but again he's got involved for turning politics. U-turn again for the Bivol fight against Baterbiev. for the WBC title, because remember he banned Russian fighters fighting for WBC belt.
Yep.
Now he's fucking U-turned that. So if he's U-turning that, and then that means I want to see guys like Selyanyan and Abdullayev. That's 2 Russian guys I can think of at least. Because this other one, Steve, the Albert, but is it
Batagaziev as well?
I want him in WBC rankings. If you're going to do this, and I want everybody else to get a fucking fair shake of the whip. Fuck this pish, man. If you're going to play politics, open up to everybody else, man. If you're going to say they've paid their dues, then they've paid their fucking dues. They ain't politicians, they're fucking fighters.
Yeah,
let
that was virtue signalling shite, that was, man.
Pish, let them fight.
Agree.
So that's it.
Super.
Oh, there was something else. As Matty says, one for us. Everybody who picked,
Yeah.
What else?
Eat humble pie, you fucking losers!
One for the GOAT. I don't know what it was.
Don't you dare!
No, but mate, the down half was fantastic. The up half, that jacket, it was a bit like, I don't know what it was. It was like what's her name? It's like Grace Haney, the James Bond film. Grace Jones. It was like a carbon copy of that, mate. That's what it was like.
You'd still put up to the bumper, though, wouldn't you?
I mean, the bottom half, fantastic. The top half, the jacket just ruined it, mate.
I'm surprised they had her back after was it Hitchens the other week?
No, but she wasn't in commentary, mate, so that was a good thing.
Yeah, they had it with flipping Porter.
She was in the build-up and that, and Abdo, I think our man, the big man, was prowling about the arena, then he's bouncer as well.
Jamie Carragher.
No, Malik Scott. Listen, one thing about Jamie Carragher, by the way, sorry to kind of digress here, but Jamie, do you ever watch him when he talks? I don't know if he's ever watched him when he talks, but he talks with his hands. I've never seen a guy talk as much with his hands.
I tried to mute him, to be honest.
He's pointing on it. It's like, dude, just put your hands inside the phone and fold them when you're talking or something.
I'm a bit like that, I am. You want to fucking see me when I'm talking to the phone on this?
You talk about YouTubers, and I'd love to see, because I know for a fact Carragher does train doing it. What's the gym that the Smiths train in, mate? Doing in Liverpool. They're all amateur gym.
Rotunda? Red Triangle.
No,
the Rotunda.
I think he trains out of there. I think so. I know Jamie does training. He is in good shape in that. So I would love to see him get into a YouTube fight with someone of maybe similar levels to see where it would go.
Kate Abdo said she was asked about
your hands can talk,
Kate Abdo was doing the fights last night on the Zone, and a fine job she did as well. Dominic is a big fan of Kate Abdo. He sent me a little clipping of her there during the week, and I said, like, she is elite level, but she's Showtime run Floyd now, isn't she? Like, let's be honest about it. But still, you know what I mean? Still great, still capable of dazzling.
He's dropping it bad there.
But she was asked
have Malik at your door, mate.
she was asked about it. She was asked about it, and she said, they said like the Carragher hinted that like she wasn't loyal to Malik, like, and she said that Malik is just so secure in himself. And I thought, we know that bitch. He fucking had an OnlyFans with his last one. He was just fucking pumping her on the fucking internet, wasn't he? He must be secure with himself. I shouldn't say that because our listeners are bastards. They're going to start fucking sending her those clips. They're like,
remember the saucepans and shit, man. Fucking hell. Fucking dirty dishes.
Oh, fuck's sake. So,
that'd be grotty kitchen in that as well.
Can't imagine Kate Abdo's going into that unless fucking.
No, mate, she's high class.
The league is fucking. Do you know what I mean? He's fucking. He's saying what kitchen she goes into. Anyway, we're going too far on this. But I was going to say as well, Ryan. We forgot about Ryan addressing Chris Algieri, Paulie Malignaggi, and Timothy Bradley in the press conference, and he finished it by saying, "Timothy Bradley sucked my dick." No, did he? I'm delighted Garcia won, by the way. I'm happy to be wrong on that one. Like, that's fucking
me too.
Brilliant that
Garcia won. It's good for the sport, man. I mean, the guy got written off by everybody.
Yeah, including us.
That's what the sport's all about. It's about guys getting written off and just fucking turning it on its head.
Look, if only the fucking fellas won fights were the fellas that we said were going to win, there wouldn't be much fucking going on in the sports.
Well, we'd be fucking rich.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Fuck's
Matty wouldn't
sake.
be fucking chasing it every week, man. 20 cents here and 50 cents there and stuff like that.
Table tennis game here. Trying to fucking come back up.
Licking the tree there.
God, yeah. Right, let's have a look what we got then quickly.
Yeah,
So
on
we had
that
the
DMT,
videos.
Matty, over there. That's big in the States, isn't it? Have you done the frog
I-
experience like Mike Tyson? Is that something?
I have not partook in DMT, unfortunately.
Deontay Wilder's done it as well, so that's why he's shining the ring.
DMT
They can't
Wilder.
pull the
Tell you
trigger.
what, right? They said Mike Tyson all got all enlightened. There's something about him when there's fights on. Don't fucking go near him because some fucking reporter put a camera in his face after the fight last night after he'd seen the fight and he looked like he wanted to fight. He didn't look like he wanted to answer any of the questions. I said, oh, shit, man, get out while the going is good. God damn it. Spinal.
Yeah. Okay, so what we got? Ryan getting kicked out by the Mets. We had him kicking off on Haney with Yo Mama. And we had Henry Garcia beefing with Eddie and then becoming friends afterwards. And then we had the countdown of the pictures. Let's go through them very quickly. We had Garcia trolling Haney. We had Chisora. We had a bit of guard action as well. Shout out to Ryan Deal and Damo. We had David Hay. That was a good one, actually, talking about the ring card girls. We had the WBC creating belts. We had the Hippodrome with Bellew and John Fisher. We had the CBD, the great CBD brawls involving Fells and Merce. We had that was another good one as well this week. Elusive Raph doing the kind of analysis that no one else will.
Danger that man, mate. He needs to go on the fucking list, that cunt. I'm telling you right now.
Oh dear.
Sitting at home putting statistics together about what demographic of females is fantasizing about which of these two guys. What the fuck is wrong with this fella? Like, fuck as hell. Get yourself out of life.
Conor Ben and King Roy going back and forward. Dan Raphael's scorecard. Blom Bomber trying to get a bit of action as well. Old Ebbs there. Garcia tweeting shit and Twitter picking him up on it. And Devin Haney's boots at the end as well. Who are you going for this week, Andy?
Mate, I think it's a toss-up between the entire boxing public. Devin Haney getting sucked in like a motherfucker. Ryan Garcia coming out on top, smoking and drinking Dom Perignon and saying, like, with big, you should just put a Joker paint on his fucking face, mate, and just say, I fucking fooled you. That, honestly, that's what it's like. It's like, it needs to be served up to everybody this week. It has to be. Garcia's been right off the reservation with everything he's been talking about, sucking dicks and fuck you, sending your mum up here and anal this. I mean, I'll get his banned if I keep talking, mate.
Oh,
on
no.
YouTube like this.
Yeah,
It's 7-year anal and all that type of stuff.
It's got to be everyone who bought his act. Like, it seriously does. We have to eat crow.
But at the same time, we might have bought some of the act, but then as Rob mentioned last week, you go back and watch his most recent fight after coming off a defeat, and it doesn't bode well. So you're thinking to yourself, right, okay, and then you're saying, right, okay, he's acting like that. But I did mention it as well, Steve, didn't I? Or Matty, whoever's hosting, sorry, at this point. I said about Ali all the years ago losing his fucking shit.
You did, and I shut you down. I was saying there's no fucking way he's good enough.
There's no fucking way.
I still think it's a bit of both. Like, I think he came in fat and he doesn't give a fuck. But
yeah, there's that.
He knows that winning against Haney. What the fuck does the WBA title mean to Ryan Garcia? He's got 25 million in the bank. He doesn't come for the
whatever
fucking...
it was. You could probably say, at the end of the day, it was a psychological operation. He just decided, I'm gonna fuck it. Chips at the end of the table, I'm going to go.
He looks like the man now, like, doesn't he? He looks like the man. And to the casuals, like the amount of fucking people, like my little one and all knows about Ryan Garcia, like fucking from ages back, like he's fucking crossing over massively.
He's went
now,
for heavy duty Christian, mate, to like, the God fearing man who likes to like fuck the world and burn Christian and burn Satan and all that shit, man. He's made it work. So he's somehow made it work.
He's got to go far. It's like that. Fucking, you can't sing, you can't play. Go far.
From God-fearing Christian to burning Satan, and he's made it work.
Fucking unbelievable! And he's been paid millions for it. And then on the back end, he's paid up $1.5 million in restitution to fucking Devin Haney.
You got to feel for Haney as well. Like, he's done everything right.
But he's beat the shit out of him.
He's been disparaged his whole career. He thought he had the layup, like he thought he had the best fucking cherry pick of his life. Beat Ryan Garcia crossover, and it's the Devin Haney era, and you're talking about that. Like, that's one thing I want to say as well. I know we're going on a little bit long on crash the weight.
Cheated the weight, drank, smoked weed, probably pumped, Probably fucking done everything else under the sun. That probably snorted or whatever. He's still got to come back with the fucking B sample for the fucking drug test, probably as well. Still,
That'd ruin it, wouldn't it? Imagine he fucking pops hot as fuck now as well.
Yeah,
Like,
someone else said that as well.
Oh,
that would ruin it because he looks very large. But I think fucking they need to stop with this fucking copy of the Floyd fucking thing. Haney's guilty of it. I know that they turned on Floyd recently, but they just let him go. This is the new era. Like, stop fucking referencing him all the time and stop trying to compare it to him and all that. Like, just fucking let these fighters be themselves, because these losses and that, like, are fucking ruining fellas. Like, imagine how Haney feels now. Like, do you know what I mean? He's fucking done everything right. He trained hard. He fucking
made the weight.
Did the camp right. Made the weight. Fucking, do you know what I mean? Had to accept the terms and then gets fucking battered around the place. Like, exactly. So, but anyway, I don't fucking feel sorry for him. He's fucking got a big payday and all that. And he'll be back, like, so they're only young kids. Like, come again.
Yeah, exactly. And come again. He's a young kid, and Ryan's out to save the young kids. So we'll go for ourselves, I think, this week then, everybody. Episode.
Yeah, we get it this week, actually. Yeah, give it to us, amateur psychologists.
Congratulations, the amateur psychologists. You are the belly of the week. Winners. Back to you, Matty.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, everyone, for eating that crow. It's good to be humble. It is very good to be humble, but Lord, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way. And yeah, I can't wait to look in the mirror because I get better looking each day. Anyhow, I would like to thank Steve Wellings, Rob Kelly, Andy Patterson, and Mr. Donnie Baseball for joining us today. Yeah, there's a little bit of an off.
The FBI's picked him up, mate, for that fucking brown envelope job that got dropped behind the fucking trees.
Anyhow, this week is going to be a little bit slow here, but we do have a pretty fun week coming up ahead. We obviously have the Canelo fight coming up. Going to head out to Vegas for that one myself. And then right after that, on Monday following that, we're going to have Naoya Inoue against Luis Neri. So we got some good stuff going on there. Rob, you seem excited about something in particular.
Just Rob getting his joint sparked up, mate, for the fucking dog walk.
I can't contain my excitement.
You're breathing pretty hard there. I don't know. I thought you were getting one behind a building.
I'm getting on. Do you know what I mean? It's not as easy to get about him like Big John Fisher these days.
But anyhow, I'd also like to thank all of our. Oh, before we do that, I'd like to thank our super chatters as well. Mr. Ryan Deal, Jamie, David Palmer, Ricky Graville, and David Palmer again. God love all y'all. We appreciate you for keeping the lights on around the joint here. And until next time, I've been your host, Matt DiGianardo. You folks have a great week in front of you. We will see you next time.
We'll never forget.
I think that's good at me. Go to and move!
We want to be honest, yeah?
Crying like a little bitch. I've never met a fucking Sri that can fight me.
I fell asleep. I fell asleep.
You're a fucking bum, you're a fucking asshole.
Rumpo fucking Steltskin.
But allegedly, Oscar Rivas has failed a test.
7-year ain't. 7-year ain't.
I will fucking smash fucking you.
I hope you fucking die.
Be safe.
I love boxing sounds, as simple as that.